Washi gonna find Bolu, but does get hit markers by Jez. Going up against, they're now all tied up 1-1. Theo is going to get taken down by Jez. You can now see Jez pushing up towards the B flag. Rocking that 35 round. See that we have Vague pushing up incredibly far, but this should be a free kill for Theo, sure enough. With the push from the backside, finds Jez.
Grupo do craque. Faz clique aí, meu chat. Você tá no YouTube, faz o clique da jogada. Tomara tá.
Um som, morto.
Vou cravar a esquerda, vou cravar acima, trava a esquerda,
Tem um, só tem A. Vai ter mais um.
Aí tem que botar essa.
Pode ver agora, calma, segura.
Sub-Zero pernambucano. Nossa!
And we've got 2 players left to deal with. FN 420. Oh my god, Lucky, what the hell was that? Count them out. Can't do it. Lucky is Dark Wizard. You're the only hope here, Dark Wizard. Oh my god, we've got a 2v5 that is a reality. Lydia looking for the shots. Lydia's gonna round the corner. Lydia finds one. Lydia just needs to find Lucky. Doesn't happen. We're going to another round. The most at the moment finds another one. Just an absolute demon. Moving quick list in with the side of Nova. Dave, you're going to go in and pretty much
People see, there is one A now.
Marvel misses one, but doesn't miss twice.
out. Oh my, Chris, he's all 1-4. Where you at, homie? I know you're in a typical sniper scenario, but right now you're just sniper. It ain't even close. Lucky, get headshot. Cosmo, smoke. Get it too, homie. We got a 1v1.
Oh my goodness, Iona! Bro, watch.
X7 was left alive. Now it's Iona looking to make this.
Yo, this girl's dirty! Aggressively push up to this degree. Lydia's able to find one. Artemisa coming through. What's that? Is that the kilo? Whoa! Artemisa, the Damascus kilo. Ooh, Kells. Finds one, is looking for two, but Artemisa. Yo, this girl kind of nuts with the kilo, bro.
Yo, how are you?
I have been.
He is a freak. He's a beast.
Down herself on that Sparrow shot. But the Angels do maintain this P3. Oh, brick stuff! Well, it was looking good for a minute there for the beginning of this round, but it has quickly gone in favor. I think you're right on the money. The arrow can push that up, finds two in the feed to start things off. Those double kills are worth a ton of points, let alone
Wouldn't be a mobile mayhem stream if the mic wasn't working right. Rip.
Can anybody hear me now? Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. All I had to do is apparently switch it to default and then switch it back to the quadcast, and that seems to be working now. So, welcome back, everybody. We are here for week 6, day 1 of the Mobile Mayhem spring season verdict. Know you're a little bit tired. You had a long weekend. You had a hell of a day casting EU today. Definitely some good matchups across the pond, and well, with Bobby being sick, you have opted to come and join us here today. So we're gonna get the lovely musical stylings of verdict not once, chat, but twice this week.
Twice this week. That's right. Tuesday, Thursday. We're here for it. We're pulling a double today. We're going to be pulling a double Thursday. And you know what that means? It just means twice the action, right? As I'm taking a look at it. We've got ourselves a pretty stout lineup for the day. As a matter of fact, it starts with a banger and it ends with a kaboom, right? Team Eleventy, Goofy Goobers. Well, this is going to be a huge matchup. Why? Because Goofy Goobers are on a bit of just a spree right now. They have been so dominant. But not only that, but Team Eleventy are kind of fighting to stay alive in a top 6 seed, right?
Not just Team Eleventy. We were talking a little bit, obviously, before the broadcast. There's a lot of teams that are on the chopping block that we maybe didn't expect to, that certainly still have time to make things up with as close as everything is. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull the standings up here for you guys today. Boom, there we go. So here are your standings, and you guys will see very quickly what we're talking about. So Tribe Gaming, they're in first place, 155, no shot they drop out of top 6, they're locked in. Goofy Goobers, Zygnus, I feel like they're pretty safe too with where they're at and the matches that they have left. They're sitting at 95 and a 90 respectively for that number 2 and number 3 spot. Then you get down to that number 4, 5, 6, and realistically 7 and 8 spots, which are all still competing verdict to get into that top 6 to find their way into the playoffs. You've got DST and Xplicit tied for 4th with 75. You've got Mayhem currently in that gatekeeper position, number 6, with 70. Then you've got Eleventy with 65 and Upper Echelon with 50 down in the 8th place spot. So realistically, based on how today and Thursday goes, we could see any of those bottom 5 teams that we were just talking about make it into a playoff week spot.
No, I mean, this is a day of reckoning. This is a day that's going to determine a lot. You know, or are you going to call it quits if you're the likes of Upper Echelon, if you don't find success in that 4th matchup today? If you're Eleventy, if you're not able to take at least one, your playoff hopes are out the window, right? So you've got to be able to put yourself in a position to maximize and profit for today and Thursday, because a lot's riding on the line. And who thought that we'd get into the last 2 days of Mobile Mayhem and we'd be sitting here with both Eleventy and Upper Echelon on the outskirts looking in, trying to fit into a position? Well, you know, sometimes it just happens like that. I think we were talking about it. Does that mean that DST and Xplicit aren't well deserving of top 6 seeds? No, that is not what it means. It means we have dealt the hand to the players. The players have played that hand, and this is where they've ended up at. Obviously, we can't control 4v5 scenarios, can't control when a team is on and when a team's, you know, off. It's all a matter of how you perform through the regular season, and it's coming down to these last 2 days. And if you're below that 70-point marker, you've got a lot to be worried about.
All right, I'm gonna say something here, Verdict, and you absolutely, if I try to hand it off to you, you do not have to agree. You do not have to put yourself on the chopping block like that. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here. and say that I truly believe, as a whole for NA, we have more good teams this season. You look at last season of Mobile Mayhem, and North America specifically, we had like 5 relevant teams and 5 not relevant teams. And that is just like the blatantly honest truth. And I think coming down to the end of the season, we actually only had 8 because we had teams drop out and not, have any time to fill in towards that. But, you look at the likes of Tribe, the Goofy Goobers, Zygnus, DST, Xplicit, Mayhem, Eleventy, Upper Echelon, all incredible teams. Even Xplicit, I think, is one that has come in and really had some good performances. I mean, they've definitely had some easier games in the beginning of the season versus now, but I think the admins have already put us into the game, so I think we're going to go ahead and get it started.
Yeah, they said, verdict day, shut your mouths. Let's get to the action. Game 1 is, I don't know if we got a chance to take a look at the best of 3, but you can see it right here. It's standoff, hardpoint. Ban back in the mix has never looked better. My guy is frying right now on a 3 combo. And this P1 is looking pretty devastating already for the side of Eleventy now, as they are struggling to get map control. And as a matter of fact, struggling to get on the point as well. So big kills coming through. 3 of the feed for Eleventies. They're starting to finally get things rolling. But P1's already halfway through, and they have yet to gain a single point from it.
All right, well, getting on into the action here, Verdict, you can see a little bit of a score lead has developed for the side of the Goofy Goobers, but, that's obviously a P1 advantage that they have right now, right? And it is quickly dwindling away as we've had Eleventy get a little bit better of a hold going for themselves. And Eleventy are actually set up in a great position for that P2 rotation. You can see we do have Washi once again playing with the Goofy Goobers, and I think partially that's going to be, obviously we had Slothy on this roster for like a week, and Slothy has gone back to Tribe, and I think that has quite possibly put Goofy Goobers in a just uncomfortable position for this week.
Uncomfortable, comfortable. I don't think it really matters. I think they've solidified themselves in a pretty good position. They have shown to be, a proven successful team. Ban back into the roster. I know he never left, but I think he took a break for a while. I didn't see him for literally like a month and a half. Love seeing him back in the mix. It's a competitive one, as you can see now, as we're halfway through on P2 factory site. Slothy or no Slothy, this Goofy Goober team is still going to thrive. And right now, they not going to thrive enough to get the break on P2. And you can already see counting their losses, Banned and both Blur are going to be making the rotation over to P3. Top Blue is where we're going to see the next objective held. But I got to give a huge shout out to Eleventy now, as they have made this a competitive one. As a matter of fact, they've taken the advantage. Doesn't look like they're necessarily quite running away with it, but putting themselves in a pretty good, increment right now.
All right, well, we are getting into this P3 rotation with a 40-point lead for the side of Eleventy. It is going to be the Goofy Goobers first on the hill, and I think since they're in and looking like they've got a decent hold down or trying to get the rebreak to happen, let's go ahead and get that listening with the Goofy Goobers and see how they're trying to make this comeback happen.
Fair fire.
Stop pushing them on, just take it to
Just
Just play no.
Yep.
Alright. Nobody's playing new. Come on, rotate.
No, but Emmy got 0 kills.
Hey, bro, I'm playing demons right now, bro. I can't hit him. One car.
He's selling.
That's just said.
Nice.
You're good.
I'll take off for you guys. I'm in the watch.
You guys.
Emmy, that's a kill gas, bro.
Yes.
Wait, I got the attack. I got it.
I have an hour.
Oh my god, bro, don't get close to me.
Secret dead.
Gas still.
I'm just on my kill.
There's one pushing tractor somewhere.
Broken. How the
He's
fuck?
tractor.
Middle now.
There's one top flag. I think
one pushing boxes.
One farm.
You're gonna be top hill.
Oh my god.
Top hill. Two.
Barrels, on hill.
Another one. He's in the corner.
One more point. One more. Top market.
Two boxes side. Definitely.
No, he's close right.
Got one.
Market stairs.
Oh my god. There's one, two.
All right, Verdict, I don't know about you, but I'm going to say when we first jumped into the voice comms there, that did not sound like a team that was losing, and I don't mean that in a good way. That sounded like a team that was so far ahead of their opponents that they didn't have a care in the world, and that is just not what the scoreboard reflects right now. We've got a 90-point lead for the side of Eleventy, and it didn't sound like the Goofy Goobers were even taking it serious.
No, you know what? They may not be in the lead in this series. You take a look at the standings. They're kind of golden in a top 6 spot, right? They already know that they have a chance at the playoffs. They're not fighting for the life. 11 are. And it kind of reflects in the game mode, too, because, right, you said it. It's a 100-point advantage now as P1's back open, and we're here for a second time around on P1. I think that the Goofy Goobers are really just taking this, not necessarily nonchalantly, but not as serious as if they were on, say, 11 scoreboard, right?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with you, and hopefully we'll get a chance to listen in with Eleventy as well. I think probably at the end of this P1, we'll probably shoot over there and just, like, kind of get a feel for the energy that Eleventy's bringing to the table, right? Because they've been, you know, down in the standings, but honestly, we've seen weeks where this team looks like they're ready to compete with the #1 position, right? So I certainly have high expectations for Eleventy. We were a little worried coming into this season, especially seeing, you know, the massive roster changes, Verdict. And I think these guys have performed very admirably despite the fact. So
yeah, I think they have, but I don't think they've had like that consistent factor that we're used to seeing. And I think that's where the struggle is more so or less than the talent-wise, right? They've got the talent. They've got the players that, you know, can compete at a tier 1 level and higher on any given day, but how consistently can they do it? And I think that's one of the struggles that they are going to continue to face.
All right, let's go ahead and hop on down there with Eleventy and see how they're trying to make this P2 break come through and pull this game to a close.
Topa un tiro, hermano, literal, topa un tiro.
Entraron 3, güey, 3.
Uno más, muertos a la verga. Uno más, principal. Connect.
Top factory una banda.
Hermano, hay uno por mí, Vamos new, tranqui, no pasa nada, vamos new. Hay uno por roto, cuidado con mí.
Atrás de blue, hasta atrás, güey.
Mid roto cortando.
Estatua.
Atrás de blue, ya te calió atrás de blue. Muerto atrás de blue, otro
más.
más.
Hay uno, purificador en punto.
Bueno, atrás tuyo,
Muerto.
Buena, otro más barril, creo.
Barriles.
Muerto.
Barriles, una bala. Ey, por Deli.
Deli.
Uno más, pajas.
Muerto paja.
Calma.
No, a fondo, atrás azul, a tu derecha, te voy a dar.
Muerto de punto.
Bueno, puedes entrar.
Atrás.
Abajo blue, te sube.
Abajo blue, abajo blue un tiro.
No, me sirve.
Espaldas de mano una bala, güey.
Ya, vente. Ya en un egg.
All right, well, definitely some good comms there. You can hear the confirms on a lot of the call-outs for, you know, player dead. You know, we need to make this rotation was one of the key calls that I think actually may have gotten missed. I heard it in the comms, you know, play next. And then I still proceeded to see 3 players from Eleventy push that P2 and end up dying to, I believe it was Ingentic on that hill. So I feel like we could have got an earlier P2 from the side of Eleventy, and the Goofy Goobers have alternatively really brought things back here and made this a much closer match.
Yeah, and I think whenever we were there in the VC listen-ins, one of the things that stood out to me is I don't really speak Spanish. My wife does. I understand the logistics and more so less the tone. The tone there was a little desperate. I'm going to be honest with you. These guys know what's on the line. They're playing very well. They're keeping up. As a matter of fact, they've kept their distance as far. But they know that if they lose today, it's a game changer for them long term. Right here, the P4 break comes through and it's going to stick. Now the desperation is starting to turn into a little bit of fear. Even though they've racked up to 211, they got to do it back again on a P1 reset and a P2. We saw the break come through in P2 early for the Goofy Goobers. we might be seeing a little bit of an upset and a comeback here for the side of the Goofy Goobers as long as they can play their cards right here on P1. But Eleventy, they got to put everything up on the line because this is it. Right here is the last P3 reset or P1 reset. And I got to say, the third time around, it's a much closer game than it was the second time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we were mentioning the standings a bit earlier, which is, you know, kind of one of the things that we wanted to talk about coming into this week specifically, take an extra minute to really go over because of how close it was. The Goofy Goobers up at 95. They're in a position where even if they didn't get points today, they are still out of reach for a lot of the teams in the bottom, at least for a single day performance, right? Eleventy, they're in a position where they're 5 points out of top 6, so they need to pull through together a win here. And, you know, it's certainly been a rough one to watch because, again, they were really snowballing the Goofy Goobers out earlier, right? You know, when we got into this match, I was like, dang, you know, these guys are coming through with the energy. I even made a comment that, you know, the Goofy Goobers comms sounded like a team that was blowing their opponents out of the water, and that wasn't the case. But, bro, they've made a comeback happen. They're only 34 points away from potentially tying up this game, let alone the opportunity to make the comeback happen and maybe pick up a win.
What we'll see here now is, you said 34-point deficit they got to overcome. Well, guess what? Eleventy, they only need 15 now as they got the advantage. The P2 factory sites open for business. And Jiddick tests his luck in the water. Fan gets turned on. Wedo God is 100% on point. Washi there for the contest, but he's dropped. One player left, and in Agentic, he's going to be able to remain on the hill. He takes down Cheto. He's going to continue on, and the dream for the comeback is still alive. The Goof Troop, they're rallying, homie, and I kind of dig the vibes. Eleventy, where are you? 9 points only needed now. Do you buckle up for a break here in P2, or do you saddle up and go to new? This is a conflict at all of the highest capacities because this game can end right here on P2 if they get the break, but guess what? They're saddling up for a P3 rotation, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is not looking like it is a convincing performance from Eleventy.
Yeah, not at all, and it does look like they might actually have a good break over towards P4. They've got 3 players in on the hill with only a couple seconds to go. Quickly, I'm going to flick through. We have no operators and no streaks for the side of the Goofy Goobers. They make the break anyway. They take themselves a lead, and it's looking like the comeback might happen. Why aren't you on the point? Somebody put your feet on the point. End this game. Pick up your dub. And the Goofy Goobers come through with the hard point win, 250 to 241.
No mommies, bro. No way that the Goof Troop rally on a P2 break. They get it the stick and they hold it for the remainder, and then they make that long transition from factory to P3. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The third rotation around, the Goof Troop mastered the rotations. They get the breaks. It sticks. Eleventy, they're down. They're out of this game. But they do have a second chance of life in the Search and Destroy. But good night. Look at the performance. I think, Envy didn't start off with a single kill. I think he was like 0-11 at first, but he ended up 20 and 31. So pretty solid. But at the top, you've got Blur with a 42 and 33. Minute 10 on the hill. Washi picked up a hell of a lot of objective time as well as Agentic. What went wrong, Eleventy? What happened, bro?
That was rough. Weru, however, I will say at least put up some big numbers. That we used to talk about him as maybe someone who lacked a little bit in the respawns and performed in the search. And then for a while it was, man, if he comes to the ball, comes to the plate and plays good in the respawns, we know we're gearing up for a good search and destroy. And bro, he put up 41 kills in that game. 41 and 35 for Weru, 41 and 34 for Saucy. Palone was frying, 42 and 26. Look over at the opposition, the numbers just are not there in the same measure, right? You've got 42 for Blur, sure, that matches. You've got 40 for Band, okay, that's only 1 behind Saucy. It drops heavy from there. Where's 10 plus above Washi? And then we're tied up with Alexei being at 32, Ingenic being at 32, Cheto being at 21, and Envy being at 21, right? I mean, there's a right in the middle there. The Weru versus Washi matchup was heavily in favor of Eleventy. And, it's hard to really pinpoint exactly where things went wrong for Eleventy because everybody put up good objective time too, right? You've got 126 for Palone, 153 for Saucy, 102 for Weru, 111 for Alexei, 108 for Cheto. Like, that is that is not a pushover performance that Eleventy had.
So tell me, was the comms from Goofy Goobers, were they just ahead of their time, or was this team, you know, just slow to start, right? I don't know what to interpret from that comm listen. And what I will say is I see right through Eleventy's comms, that anxiety, that fear, that, you know, kind of panic, 100% felt for a reason. They couldn't close it out. And now they're down 0-1, and they're going to have to battle it out in the trenches in a search and destroy and take it and make it into a game 3. You've got to win this one, though. This is search and destroy on meltdown for game number 2, Dave.
Yeah, I did go ahead and just now we put up our map picks page for you guys, since again we started a little bit early on accident. But you know, we're looking at a meltdown search and destroy, as Verdict mentioned, for game 2. If we do make it to the game 3, though, that is a domination that everybody in this game should be familiar with, right? It's a search and destroy. It's a domination on firing range. And then we had bans on crossfire hardpoint and firing range hardpoint from Eleventy and Goofy Goobers respectively. And based on that performance for that respawn on standoff, it's hard to really guess how a domination firing range would go if Eleventy was able to push us there. Because again, you already heard it, they were concerned in the comms, whereas again, I don't want to excuse the comms that Goofy Goobers had because
shenanigans as always.
Yeah, I mean, shenanigans comms that just, I mean, the game happened to work out for them, but
did it really, though? Did it really just happen to work out, or did they actually put a little bit more effort? You saw the breaks in P1s. The breaks were so damn consistent in P2s. The third time around, of course, they get the break. They make it stick. And there was nothing, I mean, they were immobilized. Eleventy were just, I mean, they were heading over to a P3 rotation with 20 seconds left. And you could tell that they didn't have any direction. They didn't know whether that was the right play or not, because players were kind of stuck in mid on that transition. By the time P3 opened, you know, kills started to come through. Goofy Goobers were right on point, and Eleventy were nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I definitely got to agree with you there. Maybe a slow start for the side of the Goofy Goobers. We'll definitely have to see in the search and destroy that we're gearing up for right now. Obviously, both these teams are fairly well known for their search and destroy performance. And, you know, we're going to have to see who can come out on top here. Eleventy, this is a absolute must-have week for them, right? They need wins not only today, at least one, but they also need to have a performance on Thursday, who I believe, if I remember correctly, is going to be against Mayhem. So another one of those teams competing for a spot in the top 6 still. And right now, man, Eleventy open up this search and destroy with a great 3 for none. And they're going to get a free bomb plant out of it too. And now Goofy Goobers, can he clutch this one up? Or are Eleventy going to open up the hard point, or the meltdown search and destroy in a big way?
Well, so on Blur, 1v4. Rounds the corner, catches Alex A dead to rights. 3 players left. The bomb's been planted. 27 seconds on the clock. Now he's looking to make a little Dosey throw through mid. Oh my, Dosey, no, that's going to be saucy. Too much of it indeed. 1 round in favor of Eleventy. We've seen this team with a lead before. Can we trust them with it? We probably can trust them as far as we can throw them, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a pretty strong guy, but 5 players at once, probably not going to be likely. So, Eleventy, you got to maintain this focus. You got to maintain this lead throughout the game. Play it. It is a consistent one you have to have, because the Goof Troop, you give them an edge. You saw what they took last game, a mile.
Yeah, Envy is getting chased right now, but Blur is able to come through with a big kill, and, you know, kind of the reverse of last round, right? We had Eleventy open up with a couple first bloods. Well, this time around, it's the side of the Goofy Goobers coming through with 2, make it 3 as Ban's able to take down another before Pallone picks up 1. Envy here for the refrag. Wiru, before I could even switch to him, gets taken down by Ingenic, and the Goof Troop able to tie things up 1-1 here. Meltdown Search, one of my favorites, one that I'm certainly glad is back. I sadly think it's probably not going to be... it's not in the map pool for Stage 3, right? Am I correct in that?
I have to take a look at the rules, but if it's anything like last champs, probably not. Oh my god, was that Blur with the collateral on the A push? They're shutting it down single-handedly. Pallone, last one live up top. The nuclear stack, he's going to get dropped, and Shadow all the way left in the Office 43 building. My guy is doing his taxes, what he should be taxing these Goof Troop players now. Stuck onto his on, but you gotta commend Blur. I mean, how can you counter a collateral coming through the A side? Well, I mean, for one, just don't stack up. For God's sakes, bro, do not feed the man ego. He does not need it right here. Washi got around the corner. Shots aren't gonna land. Hit marker on to Ingenic. Cheto gets dropped. I was about to say this is gonna be a back and forth affair, but right now the back has gone back to Goof Troop 2 rounds in a row. Will we go back to a fourth where we'll see Eleventy reclaim and possibly tie this one up, man? I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't know.
Well, we're going to have to see here. We've still got a close game. We did have a big round clutched up by the side of the Goofy Goobers there, and they now have the 2-1 advantage. Washi is going to find Cheto off the rip, but if I can get this to open, Cheto's not been having a very impactful performance so far this Search and Destroy. Sitting on 1-4 right now. He was able to find one during that first round that they blew through the opponents, and that has been it. Band rotating from behind is going to find Palone. You now got Envy pushing up in mid, but Saucy going to win that gunfight. We're now looking at a 3 versus 2. We're taking a couple shots. Has one pushing from one side that's Band, and then we've got Blur on the other. Saucy's here for him. And now Blur, 1v3. Can you make it happen, or are we getting ready to be tied up to 2-2? Sure enough, Wero takes him down. We've only got one more round of the Eleventy offense here.
One more round, indeed, and certainly a much-needed round there. Can't allow this team to take too much of advantage. 3-1 turns to 4-1, turns to 5-1, turns to game, set, match. Well, that's not the story that we're going to tell here. This is the last round on the attack now. As you can see, they're looking for another B-side affair. They play the cards right. Alex through the bottom side of the tunnel, going to be able to find first blood. Always count on him to be in the right place at the right time, but he might be in the wrong place now as Envy up top trying to figure out what he wants to do. He's playing a little bit of that mediator role, right? You got a little demon you got to deal with. Playing that pass position now is, will he get dealt with? No, he deals more pressure, more damage, but Envy finally able to drop, but gotta say, damage done. He's found 2 for the price of his life, and that leaves the 3v4 on our hands. There's 27 seconds left on the clock. Now it's a scramble. The 3v4 retake, will it pan out? Well, 22 seconds on the clock. It is just dwindling amidst... Oh my, is Blur going to be able to get a drop on Wedo? No, he gets one on Saucy. Gets the follow-up. The Deagle shots pay off. My God. The man's a menace. Now it's all on him because his teammates dropped and 7 seconds left on the clock. Not going to happen. That's going to be the advantage back in favor of Eleventy before we flip sides, Dane.
All right, well, Eleventy take the 3-2 advantage as we switch sides. Blur unable to clutch up for the team there. Did put a little bit of hurt on with that Deagle, however. We saw him experimenting last week with the J358. Has obviously decided that the top break is just terribad and not worth using. And it's horrible to get in the gulag. But, you know, he's got his trusty 50 cal Deag, so... Nice little, I think he got a 2-tap onto Wero, and then maybe I think he might have got a 1 onto Palone, but, ooh, Blur. Gonna find 1 on Cheto there. Band gonna find another. 3-for-1 trade for the Goof Troop.
Yeah, odds pretty overwhelming now, but Wero looking for the flank. He's gonna find 1 before he drops it. It's all on Saucy. 5 kills deep. The DLQ now, the 1v3 retake as the bomb's being planted. Pressure's high. Eleventy looking to extend their lead. Well, guess what? You got a little bit of adversity in your face. Oh, my, Blur gets disgustingly wiped through mid. What the hell were you doing out there, Blur? There's the bomb's planted. Get inside the nuclear stack. Play your P's and Q's. Don't overextend or, you know, kind of blindly wander around the middle of the map like, oh, man, where's Saucy at? Well, you found him, homie, and you dropped, but the information's there. Now it's all on Saucy to collect the 1v2. Washi gonna go ahead and dumpster him with the MAC-10. The Banana J-Mac looking oh so great. And yet again, Dave, we are tied up 3-for-3.
All right, 3-3 all tied here in this series. And I gotta say, you know, Eleventy are doing a great job of hanging on, but they need a little bit more here, right? If we look at the performance, Cheto, the main sniper for the lineup, filling in the shoes of Zy, just not filling him in very well right now, right? I mean, this is like a baby stepping into his dad's size 11s, right? That is just... the performance that we're getting. And, I hate to have to say that because, I've been a big fan of Cheto for a long time, going back to the Infinex and the Nativos Latinos days. I was always cheering on Tatio and Cheto. Like, that was like the perfect combination, right? They've even got a viewer that's named Chatio for that reason, right? And he's just not consistent with the phone performances yet, right? We've seen him make a couple attempts here and there, switching from the iPad to the phone. He'll have a good game one day, and he'll have a bad game another day. But this season has largely been more than just inconsistent. He's had a couple good games, but it has largely been more in the darker side of things, right? So.
Oh, here we are. 4-3 now as we are getting into the thick of it. It is a lead for Eleventy, and Cheto might not be performing. Well, guess what? He's got a room full of killers with him. Pallon's one of them. He's going to find first blood. He's dropped, though, and here comes Wedo on the push through mid. Catches Envy on the cross, but Envy backs back, and now he's going to send 2 to pinch right in the mid side. Wedo is going to read it like a book, going to go ahead and opt to rotate back. The bomb's going to go down. Now the pressure's high. 2v4 retake. Blur kind of in mid, holding off push. Envy going to shut down Wedo on the relocation, the reposition, and now Saucy looking to make something shake here. Catches Blur. What the hell is he doing, man? Hands in his pants. Looking like a fool with his pants on his legs, man. Good night. Now, 20 seconds left. I don't think it's possible. He's got to find 3 more, and sure enough, he finds 1. That's a Genic. And he is going to be the equalizer as we are yet again tied up.
All right. All tied up 4-4. Are we going to get a game 3 here, Verdict, if you had to predict, or do you think Goofy Goobers are going to be able to clutch things up? This has been a hard one to call. It's been 1-for-1 pretty much nonstop. I think at the very beginning we had like 2 for the Goofy Goobers in a row, and then we had 2 back again for Eleventy in a row, and it's just been 1-for-1. Nobody's able to get a comfortable edge here, and Blur picks up first blood this round on Saucy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Eleventy, you never want to be comfortable. Why? Because we saw what happened in the hard point. You get too comfortable, you get complacent. Complacency leads to misplays, and misplays lead to, 100-point advantages, completely out the window. Well, right now, the advantage is clearly in the court of the side of the Goof Troop. Shadow rounds the corner, tries to take a cue from Miney's movement video, and the weapon swap just didn't pan out. Ban gonna catch him on the rotation, and ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Are Eleventy going to be able to stay alive to see that game 3? Or are we going to end it here in a 6-4 fashion?
Well, it is certainly not looking good for the side of Eleventy right now. And again, this is a day that they desperately needed points. They're sitting at, 65? So the best that they could do, if they would have 2-0'd today and 2-0'd on Thursday, would have been 105, right? Which is not even very far ahead of the Goofy Goobers and where they sit right now at 95, right? So the fact that they're going to be picking up presumably 0 if things don't go their way here, it could one be rough to start off the week, and to finish off the week, they've got to go up against one of their #1 competition, one of the teams that is trying to gatekeep them from making it into the playoffs. Does look like Eleventy find a way to make it through one more round, though. Can they do it? Can they close this search and destroy out? We're going into round 11, Verdict, to decide if we're going to get to see that domination or not. And I will have to say here, Eleventy won 60% of their offense. It's not a huge margin, but it's overtime. A little something.
It's overtime. All those statistics that we put together earlier, they're out the window. This is for everything. The ego chow towards the A side. Look at this. There's nobody there. There's no Blur looking for the collapse, right? He's gonna get the information, but it's a little too late now as he misses 1 shot. The bomb looking like it might go down. A nuclear stack is looking pretty radioactive now as the bomb is gonna be 100% planted. That's going to reduce the clock to 40 seconds, and now it's all on Goofy Goobers. Blur able to hit 1. That's Wedo. That's a great kill to lead off on this push, but there's still 4 players alive. That's plenty enough to cover this this nuclear stack.
Well, right now, I got to say, I'm actually feeling pretty confident for Eleventy. Cheto drops the sniper, grabs himself a kilo this round, and is able to pick up 1. Band comes through, finds 3 though, and now it's Saucy, last alive. Eleventy, I was just talking about how good it was looking for you. And in a literally 22-second period, they give up 5 lives in a defuse, and that's going to be the Goofy Goobers, man, coming through with the 2-0 victory.
My guy Band ended up with 14 kills. What the freak? Where did this guy come from? What is going on? Eleventy have fallen. They're down, and they're possibly out, man. I'm taking a look at the standings, dude. It's just not looking like it is all there for them.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a great performance at the beginning of the hard point where things obviously started to slip away from them, and that's one that I actually, you know, I've been saying I want to keep going back and do these close matchups and do breakdowns, and you know, I've been struggling to find the time to do it. But that might be when I have to, because I still am questioning, was it just Goofy Goobers that stepped up to the plate in the hard point, or did Eleventy let it slip away is where I've got to go back, and I really need to figure out where, what point in time was capitalized on to get such a big swing. Not the biggest comeback that we've seen in Mobile Mayhem, and not even this season, or not even just this season. But certainly one that is going to be impactful, right? And then here we come into the Search and Destroy. This one I would say was not as heavily thrown. I mean, there's certainly a breaking point in that last round, and you know, largely it was when Band came through and was like, "Hi, I'm a steamroller. I'm flattening 3 of you right now." But you know, I kind of want to go back and just watch that positioning and see where the rotation exactly happened, because obviously there's a lot going on, right? But yeah, Band 14 kills, Blur 11. You've got 7 for Washi, 5 for MV, 4 for Ingenic. Look over at the opposition. You've got some respectable numbers, right? You've got Saucy at 10, Palone at 8, Weru at 9, Alexei at 7. Cheto, man, listen, you were one of my favorite snipers to watch, and I really want to see you come back, but we just can't have performances like we had today if we want our team to get into the playoffs, right? So hopefully Cheto will step it up. I have high hopes for him in the phone scene if he can get fully adjusted, and he's obviously still struggling.
Struggling is one word, you know, kind of in a scenario where it's make or break for your team and only able to put up 2 kills. I'm not saying it's unacceptable, but it's unacceptable, right? Palone put up a ton of kills in the hard point, as well as Weru. Those 2 have been staple pieces in this roster. Saucy stepped up massively in this Search or Destroy, as well as Alex. You got to have a 5th player that's able to contribute, especially against a team like Goofy Goobers, who, again, if you give them an inch, they take a mile, blase. It's a 2-0. It's Goofy Goobers, and if I'm not mistaken, that kind of puts them in a position to thrive, because right now they are the only team that's remotely close to Tribe in the standings, and that might be enough to put them ahead of Zygnus and keep them ahead of Zygnus.
Yeah, that number 2 spot in the standings is certainly going to be a coveted position, right? Verdict, the number 1 and the number 2 teams do not have to play in the first set of matches for finals week, right? They get the bye in those quarterfinals, so it's definitely a comfortable position, especially when you're in a season that actually has so many teams that are as close as they are, right? I mean, between first and 7th was 30 points, right? Or second, between 2nd and 7th was 30 points coming into today. And you know, avoiding that extra game to play is just one less game of opportunity to fail, right? That's one less chance for one of those other teams that are right on par with you in skill level to take games away from you, right? Because even, you know, we look at Xplicit, right? A team that we didn't expect to be up in the standings where they're at, have played off against the Goofy Goobers and have taken Search and Destroys off of them and have made the other modes look close. So, you know, gotta give a big shout out to NA and LATAM for stepping up and giving us a good set of standings this season.
Well, first series is done. Looks like we're getting geared up for our second one. You already see the players joining the lobby, and none other than Zygnus is on the board to face off against Wicked. And before we do that, I think it's a good moment to take a minute to, you know, refresh, get some water in our system, and, you know, get a little break under our belts and get geared up for our second series of the night.
All right, fantastic. We'll be right back, guys. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are here, and we are gearing up for our Zygnus versus Wicked Esports matchup. And we do have almost all of our players in the lobby. I think we're just waiting on one for Wicked and Zygnus. They are here, ready to go. I mean, they were here, ready to go, like right away, right? This is a team that is normally right in the lobby, Verdict.
Yeah, they want those 20 points on me. They are fiending for it. They want to close that gap again for third and fourth, and they also want to cover some tracks. As you know, I wouldn't want to say that the Goofy Goobers kind of like steamrolled Eleventy because that's disrespectful. But let's be fair. Like, you blew a 100-point lead and you couldn't close out in the search or destroy to take us to that game 3. The fact of the matter is, we're here for Zygnus, who are literally going to be about 25 points now away from that second place seed. And you bet your ass they are going to be right there on board for a 2-0. I'm not disrespecting Zygnus, or not Zygnus, but Wicked when I say that, but Zygnus are like power hungry to get back to that second place seed.
I would certainly agree with you there. Zygnus are certainly looking to extend themselves into a position where they can maybe get that number 2 spot. Again, we mentioned that things have been so close. And, again, the number 4 competitor, DST, almost took Zygnus down in NA. They have a lead above them in score in LATAM. So, it really just shows that it's not just a Zygnus, Tribe, Mayhem, and what was the other team last year that really was up the top? ARP.
Xplicit. ARP. Yeah. One of those teams.
Yeah, those were all teams that kind of were the top 4 and nobody else was competing, right? Well, that ain't the fact this time around, right? And so Zygnus, they want that number 2 spot. And while Wicked Esports, I certainly got to say, has looked better than a lot of teams that we've seen make it through qualifiers, right? And I think they've actually had some good performances against some of the better teams in the league, and they're certainly looking like a team that could come back next season and start to be a threat. That's looking at the future, right? That's next season. I certainly do not think that they've had as big of an impact as, for example, in an Illuminati or an EUE from Europe, or an Anarchy, specifically last year Anarchy that nobody believed in except for me, and they went on to stage 5. But I certainly think they're a team with potential.
Potential, yes. Is it going to make a difference today? Probably not. I think this team has a lot to work on. There's been several roster changes since even making it through qualifiers. As a matter of fact, I don't even see but one person in the lobby.
They have a roster change from today, by the way. Like today, they still have a roster change. Or yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday.
I think Sunday was the last day for roster changes.
Okay, well then they let me know today, okay?
Gotcha.
They let me know today.
This is literally the only one that's in this lobby who I remember from qualifiers, if that tells you, any kind of story.
Yeah, I have the sheet up, actually. Let me look. Wicked. Alright, so Mammoth is still on the roster, but I don't see Mammoth playing today. Parka is no longer on the roster. Prizo is no longer on the roster. And DDoS de Barbara is also not on the roster. And those are the players that we would have recognized from the past. As well as Claps. Claps is gone too. So our new roster for Wicked, and again, that's like all of their changes. We've got Reckless, we've got Mammoth, Shotzi was a early change. I think that happened between qualifiers and the start of NA. And then since the start of NA, we've had an addition of Losty, Viben, Dios, and Shield. We see 3 of those players here today.
All right, well, we see the raids come through. They are massive in numbers, and Zygnus fans, they're here to see their team shine, and guess what? They're going to get to do so here as our best of 3 shows us a double dose of standoff, bro. I'm taking a look at it. Standoff hardpoint, standoff search or destroy, and we move over to a beautiful firing range domination if it goes the distance. I don't think we'll see that fire range today. I guess it really depends on what Zygnus team shows up, or for that matter, what Wicked team shows up, because we've seen so many faces and so many changes in between the roster. Obviously, they're not the same as what day one brings to the table. And Zygnus, they're the same old that everybody digs and loves, and make sure that their names are praised very heavily. It's Envoy, Tatio, Zai, Just, and Yuhi. This is definitely going to be Zygnus putting their best foot forward. And again, if I were a betting man, I'd be, betting the 2-0 line here with Zygnus closing this one out just relatively early.
Yeah, I would absolutely have to agree with you there. The raids coming through, definitely appreciate that from, I believe I saw at least Envoy and Tatio coming through with the raids, so thank you guys so much for that. I also see a lot of people asking me to speak in Spanish. And I don't know if you caught that last week, Verdict. You're obviously gone, but we did an intro when Zygnus was playing off the start in Spanish. Me and Gil did, and I felt like I made a huge fool of myself. So we might sneak some in there, but I'm certainly not gonna make it through a whole series in Spanish, guys. I'm sorry, but it takes me too long to think of it. But yeah, Verdict, if you want a good laugh, you should go back and listen to the intro from last week. But yeah, big shout out to Envoy and to Tio for the raids, and we do have our best of 3 available if you want to run through those for us real quick.
Oh, I thought I already did, but I could do it again. Certainly going to be a double dose of standoff now. As we take a look at it, is going to be a hardpoint standoff, followed by that search and destroy standoff again. And again, if it does go to distance, I don't think it is. It's going to be a game 3 firing range domination.
Yeah, I just didn't have the graphic up the first time you did it. So you do it again. That's totally my fault, chat. Can't blame Verdict for that one. He was on the ball. I was not. We are just waiting on a couple of our players to get readied up, and we'll get you guys into the action. And this certainly should be an interesting match because, again, I think Wicked is a very good team, and I think this is a good measure of how far they've come. But I'm right on the ball with you that I think Zygnus probably just come through with the 2-0. And it's not about me thinking that this is going to be a close series, because I'm not saying that by any means. I just want to see how far Wicked really can take it, right? That is the measure we're looking at in this instance. So as soon as we have our last player get readied up, guys, we'll get you into the action. And, standoff hardpoint is definitely a good one to start off on, right? That's a map in mode pool that everybody should be completely familiar with.
The wife brought me some more water because I was fresh out of some agua. And guess what? We're going to be needing a refill on tap because it's about to get super sweaty. Wicked are set to face off against the number 3 team here in Zygnus, and I gotta say, they are probably punching air right now at that number 3 spot. They want that number 2. They'd love to have number 1, but I mean, let's be real. Drive have just been a brute force to handle. As a matter of fact, they got the bye today, so no harm, no foul in that regards. And it does look like we've got 4 out of the 5 players spawned in for Zygnus. I think we're missing 1 in Zai, and we should be good to jump into this game.
Yeah, we certainly will as soon as Zai comes on in. Zai did come through with the raid as well, so big shout out to Zai. Thank you guys for that. And it does look like he has connected, so hopefully we're feeling good on the connection, so we don't have to bounce out or anything here. Obviously, we'll know in a second or two, but looks like everybody is ready to go. Verdict. No ping, no party issues.
Yeah, no ping, no problem, right? We were right in it. Just like Wicked, now they are on the objective here in P1, but here comes Yuhi. He's on the prowl. Yuhi does find first blood. Tatio looking for the push to the brook wall. He's going to get shut down. Envoy just combined for 2. P1 out in the open. Courtyard certainly looking like it's going to be a graveyard, somebody's nightmare. Well, the dream is real, and Zygnus get the white. They're going to get the P1, and now the back and forth begins.
All right, well, Shotzi up top. Was looking for a kill onto Envoy, but couldn't quite make it happen. And Wicked, they've actually got themselves a very, very slight lead here on the P1. It does look like Zygnus have remade a break in, and they're going to start to take that advantage. And if you're Wicked, these are kind of the moments that I'm talking about, right? You're in a position where you're in a match that nobody realistically expects you to win, and I don't think you really have a chance in hell to win in blatantly honest fashion. But, this is where we want to be able to capitalize and see your guys' rotations, right? This is where you guys are going to get some of your best opportunity for VOD review, is against one of these teams that is competing for #1, right? So this is a great opportunity for them to get that practice, to get that footage. Not everybody can get scrims with these T1 teams. So Wicked, again, I think they have potential for seasons to come. And this is a great way to open that gate for them moving forward.
It is indeed. Now they're going to be the outskirts looking in. P2 factory site has been a lockdown for the side of Zygnus, and they are just continuing on with the good times here. The contest from Reckless. He's got to do a better job playing his life right here. He's already going to be outs. The concussions are coming through. Got away for reinforcements. Here comes the TO. He's on the push. Tac 5 inserted, but he's going to get shut down. Big kill for Reckless. The contest certainly going to be huge, but that does not result in points. Now, as you can see, Zygnus going to clear him out. Shotzzy going to make his way up top. Going to get shut down as well. And, well, P2 is shutting down itself. P3 is opening up. You can already see the transition for Wicked. They're looking for the early advantage, but they had the early advantage in P2, and they get shut down. So, got to do a better job of playing their life and holding those spawns. I think Shotzi's in a decent position, but realistically speaking, if you're trying to anchor, you need to get back here in the back long hold of the objective, right?
Yeah, I saw a grenade thrown by Just onto, I believe it was Reckless on top of P2. That was cooked so well that I honestly thought he stuck Reckless with his MTX. Like, that's where my mind went when I saw it happen, but it was just such a well-cooked grenade, and, you know, just a moment that I'll look back on and be like, dang, that was kind of nuts. But Reckless, I mean, once again, he's one of the players that is able to make the break into the hill and is looking to hold it down. He's got 6 on board, make it 7 as he takes down Zai. He's got himself a Purifier, ends up getting wallbanged by Envoy, and that's going to be the rebreak coming through for the side of Zygnus. But we've already got almost 50 points on the board for the side of Wicked, and we have seen matches not be this close, right? So I gotta say, I at least appreciate the attempt that Wicked are putting forward here. They're certainly proving that they have an opportunity in this matchup. And their rotations, honestly, been pretty solid.
Yeah, but here comes Zygnus. Zai's on the prowl. He's going to be able to find 2, gets the break, and there it goes. P4's a muddy hill, right, wrong. You set up early, you get shut down, and now you're on the outskirts. Not able to take advantage of those first 15 seconds. Zygnus right back in it, and surely, you know, that's a big ball dropped. You've got multiple points of injury here, and 2 of the primary ones were not covered very properly, and they are paying for it in numbers now, as the objective is 110 plus for Zygnus. Wicked do get a moment of clarity there on the break, but it is just a moment, nothing more. And there it goes. Wicked again on the out, trying to get in on the P4 objective. Is just not looking good right now. Zygnus are racking it up, and this is an objective where you could have seen this game turned around, but instead you're kind of in the blender now.
Yeah, definitely in a rough spot, and with a, what, an 80-point lead for the side of Zygnus right now, you can certainly see that they are looking to extend it even more. But, man, it is, you know, not, I mean, we had a great early rotation to the P4 for the side of Wicked, right? I mean, they rotated over, they had 4 players in the hill, but they absolutely got steamrolled. They only got 4 points on that P4, and they have yet to make a break here onto the P1. Does look like the Purifier is coming through for Reckless. He finds 2 before eventually getting taken down. But even with that, Zygnus are still able to hold on to the point. Finally, Lost, he's able to make a break in, but only for a second. He does have Reckless here, and, you know, Reckless has been one of the few that's been able to stick onto the hill. We've got 85 seconds of time on the hill for Reckless. The next closest on the team is 11, bro.
I don't know. I'm lost. I'm confused. I'm dazed. I'm kind of like, how is Reckless getting used to this fullest capacity? And nobody in your team is really putting the best foot forward. I get Shotzzy. Shotzzy had a good game to start off with, because he was trying to fill that Slayer role. But where are the rest of the team at, man? Where's Vibin? Where's Shield? Where's the objective time? Where's the split? Where's the direction? Where's the, the IGL in this instance? Who is directing the flow of traffic? And who is literally selling? I can tell you it's not Reckless, even though he's got a negative KD, but that time in is just oh so valuable. You've got 86 seconds, but only getting credit for 67 of them. That's tough.
All right, well, what do you think? Quick listening with
Let's go.
with Zygnus or Wicked?
This is Wicked. Oh, not Wicked, but Zygnus, sorry.
Escúchalo, gas. Estilo tag.
Estatua.
Yo tengo muy controlado aquí. Yo tengo muy controlado aquí.
Gas.
No, la verga, principal.
Muerto, gas.
Estoy jugando rachos, ya tengo Lightning. Ya están rotando next, güey.
Abajo blue 1.
¿Tiene tag bien
Top
también?
blue, buena. Otro más por atrás azul.
Uno en tanque. Uno en tanque.
En tanque y
Muerto
Kobe.
Bacali.
Uno Kobe, esperándolo en la esquinita.
Uno estatua,
Muerto,
estatua.
Medio. Está en medio, su güey.
Top blue, barriles, top blue.
En medio.
Ey, aguántenme.
Está tirando strike. Aguanten. Uno en tanque.
Otro arriba, güey. Puta madre.
Aparece en barriles. Está en pajas. Aparece en barriles.
Super spawn, güey. En pajas, buena, güey.
Uno en tanque,
Arriba.
Yo, tanque.
Uno más abajo blue, güey. Buena.
Muerto, güey. Muerto, Diego.
Empieza de nuevo.
Barril.
All right, well, definitely a fair amount of energy in those comms, but I would say more importantly to make note is that Zygnus, even though they have this lead, even though they know they're up against an opponent that is maybe not up to par with their talents, they're still taking it seriously, right? I mean, there's, definitely a little bit of lightness in the comms, but they're at least making sure that they're still being precise. They make sure that they're answering on the comms for the rotations, for the kills. But, Wicked have done a great job so far this game for at least being one of the newer teams in the league that is going up against an absolute titanic force that is Zygnus, right?
No, you're absolutely right. This is like a number 2, number 3 team easy without even trying to, sweat. Right now, they're going to have to sweat it out here on P4. The break comes through, and it does look like Wicked are going to get their fair share as the break comes through. It's not going to stick to T.O.'s got to win a massive gunfight, not able to even pull the trigger once. But that's okay. The Cavalry's here. The break is going to stick, and with only 10 seconds needed to close out game number 1, here comes Wicked. They're looking to make the break. Vibin's the last hope. He's shut down. And now it's all on Losty. Oh my God. Zai through the concussion. Gonna be able to hit the Annihilator. The job's done. Big shots coming in. 250 to 110. Zygnus, as we mentioned earlier, I mean, it was just another day at the park, right?
Yeah, definitely a good performance from Zygnus. Again, I don't think anybody is shocked by this performance. I think everybody expects Zygnus to come through today with a 2-0 win over the side of Wicked. And, a fairly convincing game 1. The hard point comes through. They win 250 to 107, 110. So definitely some great scoreline put up there. And you can largely see that reflected in the kills as well, right? I mean, I'll give all my respects that I can to Wicked. They put up some reasonable numbers up against, again, one of the strongest teams you could be facing up in. This is Wicked's rookie season coming through here. I think we have, 2 players, maybe 3 players on this roster that have played in seasons past, but largely this is a new roster. Many of the players are rookie. Like Shotzzy, this is Shotzi's first season, okay? But 22 for Shotzzy, 22 for Vibin, 18 for Reckless, 22 for Shield, only 11 for Losty. But, we have 3 players in the 20s, 1 player just about at the 20s. Look over at the opposition, and it is very quick to see, why we were able to maintain such good map control for the side of Zygnus, right? Came through with 34 for Yuhi, 32 for Just, 33 for Zai, 29 for Envoy, and 25 for Tatio. And, the time on the board reflects itself perfectly. Reckless, a minute. 22 for Vibin, 26.
He had 85 seconds in the objective. Look at that. He only got credit for 58. That's like a feels bad moment, bro. That is such a terrible stat to see. I wish they would show all the time in the post-action report.
Contested time is important.
It is so important, bro. It is so important. I cannot believe that COD Mobile doesn't show the contested time, rather just the points. I guess it makes sense, but I'm also reading in chat that we're kind of disrespecting Wicked. Guys, did you just not watch the hard point? Were you guys even watching with your eyes open? Tell me you guys were just paying attention at all. Zygnus disrespected Wicked. That was nothing that we had to do, right? It was a 250 to 110. It was a blowout. It wasn't even close. I mean, we started off relatively okay, but once the action started to, you know, roll through, it was all Zygnus in the feed. It was all Zygnus on the point. The time collected reflects 100%. I don't care what anybody says, Jack. Gotta stop being soft when it comes to that. The facts and the numbers, they don't lie, bro. Zygnus did the disrespecting. They bodied Wicked, and that's the result of it. So now we're moving on to a search or destroy, and I gotta say, you know, if Wicked wants to hang around in this, they gotta show us a little bit of fight left.
Listen, I feel for chat, okay? Especially I feel for Wicked. I feel for the fans of Wicked out there, okay?
Not at all, bro.
I get it. We're a little harsh on them, but that's the reality, right? Sometimes as a caster,
we're in a tier 1 event, bro.
We are.
If you can't hang with the big of the big, get better. That's it. Get good. Just like when...
That is true. That is true.
I mean, get good, bro. That's it. Easy.
Yeah, I mean... What you guys need to understand is, again, me and Verdict have both said that, you know, for seasons to come, if Wicked stay at it, we believe this team has potential to compete, right?
Yeah.
They've shown us that. But the reality is, for today, that is just not the case, right? That is not at all what we have gotten out of this team. We don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but that is just what it is. And, you know, we're hoping to see some better performances out of Wicked in the Search and Destroy. This has been the mode that they have had the best performances in. Shotzzy is going to come through with first blood onto Just, but Zy and Envoy answer back quick. I'm trying to figure out who has the bomb so I can switch to him. It's Envoy pushed on up. No fear. Bomb carrier gets 3 on the board. And that's going to leave just Shotzzy left alone in a 1 versus 3. And he's getting ready to rotate right into Tatio here. You know what? Never mind. Doesn't even rotate into Tatio. Tatio pushes him and takes him down.
Yeah, big round there for the side of Zygnus. It was all up to one player for the side of Wicked. Couldn't handle the business, and surely enough, when Zy's on, bro, he's a beast to handle, man. 1 kill off the board rip, but story of that first round, again, it's going to be Envoy. He is your Search to Destroy demon for the Zygnus team. He'll continue to do so. He's going to continue to put and add a lot of value, but the nasty 2-piece there, the concussion sticks, and there it goes. The floodgates on A, it's open. It is all going to be Zygnus on the point, and they are not even trying to capitalize on the bomb play. They're trying to bait out their opponents and pull them out of hiding. Right now, it's going to be Shotzzy getting 1 on Yuhi. Rotations through. He gets the sniper to go along with it, but the damage is done. Bombs planted. Here comes the shot. Shotzzy not going to be able to connect that one, but just going to be able to find one in the background. And again, Zygnus, it's all up to, or Wicked, rather. It's all up to Shotzzy. Can he clutch the 1v4 miracle? Absolutely not.
All right, well, Tatio comes through and cleans that one up. The 2-0 lead for the side of Zygnus. And again, guys, this is kind of what we expect, but I really, really am hoping that we get to see some life out of Wicked here for the Search and Destroy. I will say that standoff very, very slightly, in my opinion, favors the offense, especially if you're able to get into the A site, because it is so difficult for the defense to retake, right? You have so many head glitches and cubbies that you can abuse. See, Reckless gets taken down. Tatio, no fear, just fight. Pushes through, takes down 2. We have people dying left and right. It's now a 2 versus 2. Zy and Just up against Shotzzy and Losty. Verdict.
Yeah, bombs down in no man's land. Zy's going to catch eyes on 1, but Shotzi's going to get dropped just on the transition. Losty is able to find Zy there as he catches him kind of with his hands in his pants right there, but surely enough, Just going to be able to collect the bomb. What the hell is this positioning, Just? Do you just do this in broad daylight? Surely doesn't plant for the bomb heady, and I guess it's, you know, favors he doesn't know exactly where he's at, so now it's all about numbers here. Losty with a slide peek. Losty wins a big one and Just able to close it out, and we are 3-0 in favor of Zygnus. Wicked, that was probably the closest round that they probably should have had. But again, Just absolutely superior gun skill.
Yeah, I mean, that is ultimately the reality, and you know, we're just hoping that Wicked is able to take one, because some of these rounds, you know, especially that last round, have been close, Verdict. I mean, that came down to a 1 versus 1, so Wicked are showing that they, at least to a degree, have the skill. It has largely been Shotzzy who's got 4 kills on board. We've got 2 for Losty and 2 for Shield, but, you know, that is a big couple kills that come through. Vibin and Reckless each find one. Losty finds another. Zai's able to get the refrag. Once again, we're in a 2v2, Verdict.
It's close, but again, it doesn't matter unless you could seal the deal here. You know, what is the old saying? It's close only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades and, well, nuclear warfare right now. You've got a 1v2 scenario that you can capitalize on. Shield rounds the corner. Shield finds the 2-piece. They're going to get a round for themselves. And this might be the start of a comeback here for Wicked. Got to show us something, and that round was certainly one to show. As we have a little bit of hope now in this Search and Destroy. It's a little bit out of, out of hope off the rip, but I guess 3 rounds in a row, you know, you get handed the business. You finally start handling a little business yourself, and we got ourselves a decent little Search and Destroy so far.
Yeah, I mean, if Wicked had a chance, it was going to be here in the Search and Destroy, and, you know, they've had some close rounds. They've had a round that they've won, but, you know, this round was an absolute slaughter by the side of Zygnus. They're going to close out their offense in very, very convincing fashion. Vibin rotates over. The trigger discipline there, not quite existent, right? And he is going to get rotated on. Does turn on to Envoy, but rotates right into Just. That's going to be the 4-1 lead now for the side of Zygnus.
Yep, now we're going to flip sides, and now it's going to be Wicked with all the, you know, dictating the pace, right? They're going to take it slower. They're going to take it fast. They're going to go A. They're going to go B. Well, it's about to all unfold now. As you can see, they're buckling up. 2 go through the backside. 3 through the front. They're playing aggressive. A side is open for free, but Envoy wraps through the smoke. He's going to find one. No, he's going to get shut down. Shield with a slither of help, but here comes the collapse. It's Tatio. He gets dropped. No man's land, bro. Literally just balls the wall right into the barrel sight. And Tatio gets taken down in the cubby. Now, here we go. 3v5 scenario for Zygnus on the retake. And Wicked, even on the backs of an aggressive push that looked like it was about to crumble under their feet, they get the bomb plant down. There's only 2 people left standing, and that's Zai and Yuhi. Zygnus, are they going to give up this second round here for Wicked, or are they going to see a god-tier clutch?
I gotta say, I'm not fully believing in the clutch to happen this round. We've got 15 seconds. We've got 5 kills and a defuse to make happen. Vibin finds a good quickscope onto Yuhi, and now Zai in a 1v5. Honestly, like, this is one of the few times that I'm ever going to be like, yeah, you could just play your life, and I don't think it would matter. But he gets taken down anyway, gets pushed, and that's going to be the 4-2 in favor of Zygnus still. But Wicked, they're showing some scrappiness, some life here, and that was a great offensive round for them.
That was a great one indeed. Now we flip sides and we get a little momentum in their court. Can they continue to maintain, or will Zygnus adapt and shut it down? Well, there are certainly resemblance of last round. This time around, Tatio's going to find one before he goes. Shield going to be adding some value there. Envoy looking to shut Reckless down. And oh my, these rounds are starting and ending very quickly now, leaving us at a 2v2. Zai and Just, Vibin and Reckless, they are looking for the equalizer here. Oh, baby, Zai. It's all on you. Going to be able to win that one. Can't bring boxing gloves to a gunfight, but Vibin, the jump shot up top, takes down Zai. Good one, bro. Good one indeed.
I'm going to be honest with you, Verdict. Something told me. I don't know what it was that clicked, but we saw Zai pick up that kill and start to retreat, and I was just like, Vibin's got this. Flicked over to his perspective just in time to see the jump shot. Nice, clean flick onto Zai. And, well, Zygnus, they answer back quickly in this round. It's a 2-for-3 trade, so Wicked's still in this, but this has certainly resulted to be a close game for Wicked here, right? Lost able to find one before he gets taken down, but now it's Zygnus, not only on map point, but they are on match point as well.
Indeed. Now Zai taking it personal from the round before. He has some pretty nasty jump shots himself, catches Shield through the wall and gets the bang, and now it's all up to this. Wicked, you know, this match didn't really have much, you know, implications for a playoff run, but it definitely has a little bit of like that ego boost or confidence boost that you need to continue to improve. Well,
look at this push from Wicked.
I'd about to say 3 players stack the back alley, but Zai reads it. Now is the damage done. It's 2 for 2s Reckless kind of in an island right here. He's kind of got nowhere to go. You round the corner on barrels. Zai's holding the angle. Does hit the shot. Man, just such a nasty one to hold. The head he's got here, but here comes Vibin. The equalizer, 2 for 2 now is all on Yuhi as we see another one draw for Zygnus. Minute 12 left out. Is Wicked going to be able to take us to another round here?
Listen, hear me out. That was a pretty unprecedented push, right? Like, that's not something we see very often in the scene. And I absolutely love that Wicked brought that to the table, right? It's something out of the ordinary, something that doesn't necessarily fit into the box of like kind of the meta pushes that we see. Even if you are going for like a B-side plant for whatever reason, you're typically rotating mid, you're not full sending back. So I think it's quirky. I give it to the side of Wicked, right? You're the underdog in this matchup. You're in a match point scenario. Maybe it's a strategy you've been working on. And they brought it through, executed. They won a round. They've kept themselves in the game here, but not for long. It does look like Zygnus are pretty much just cleaning house here. They want this one to be over. Zai picks it up, and that's going to be the end of Wicked's run for today.
It is, and possibly some 20 points going over in favor of Zygnus as well. The Search or Destroy, well, this is a lot closer than the hard point, but again, close doesn't win games. It's all a matter of executing right there. The execution just wasn't enough here as we see Zygnus just continuing to do what they do best, and that's shut it down and Search or Destroy. They're going to get those 20 points. To Tio, my God, bro. I just want to hug and kiss you, man. You just got, you know, that frame. I just want, you know, I want to be buddies with Tio. I want to meet up with him like Gilmania did. I'm so envious of Gil. Again, I'm kind of envious of Tio too, that he got to meet Gilmania. But that's neither here nor there. 11 kills on board for Tio and Zai. 22 kills in total. Just good night, bro. Just a phenomenal performance from Zygnus. Again, this team was obviously picked for a 2-0 in this scenario, and they did exactly what we expected.
Yeah, definitely a great game. Tio coming through with 11 kills, Zai with 11 kills. You've got Just with 8, Envoy with 6, Yui with 4. Look over at the opposition. You had some really respectable numbers once again put up by the side of Wicked, right? 7 for Vibin. We saw him hit some nasty shots. Shotzzy came through with 8. Shield came through with 7. Losty with 7. Reckless, I mean, he came through with 4. He came through as many as Yui, right? Like, the numbers are fairly close across the board, with the exception of the outliers of Tio and Zai coming through with 11. And, you know, this is the outcome people realistically expected, but Wicked, I think, again, they've proven to be a team that can compete, even if they're not all the way there for this level of competition. And, you know, I hope we see this team, or at least these players, make a comeback in future seasons, because obviously this season is just down and out for them, right? They've got 25 points. They don't pick up any today, so there's no shot. But I certainly have hopes to see them return.
Yeah, I don't think there was a question if they were going to make a comeback, and possibly this is just them coming through and, you know, fulfilling their obligations. They started the season, they had finished the season, right? And we appreciate that the most about these teams who qualify and make it all the way through the regular season. Like, it's not too often you see a team who kind of gets thrown in the blender off the beginning of the season, and even at the end of the season right here, as they had to face off against Zygnus, kind of stick around. But, you know, it shows character, and it shows that they want to improve. And as long as they want to continue to improve, I'll continue to want to see them play. Obviously, there was not even a little bit of doubt in whether, you know, Zygnus were going to be able to close that one out or not. It was, you know, very convincing hard point, followed up by a few toss-up rounds that went in Wicked's favor. But primarily just Zygnus handling business is normal, though, as we're gearing up for our third series of the night. Zygnus and Wicked are under the books. Team Eleventy and Goofy Goobers are in the books. Who do we have left?
We have get over to our schedule real quick. Actually, let's go to the results page for anybody who maybe joined us late. Perfect. Chrome audio is muted here. We've got Discord. We've got mic. Perfect. So obviously we had Goofy Goobers come through with the 2-0 victory over Eleventy, but those were some damn good matches that you guys should go back and watch if you did miss them. It was a 250 to 241 hard point, and then a round 11 search and destroy. Like, that game was solid. get into Zygnus versus Wicked. Another 2-0 that went exactly as you guys probably expected it to. But I certainly say Wicked showed more life than we've seen out of theoretically any challengers team that we've ever had in North America. Would you agree with that statement at least?
I'm sorry, repeat it.
For teams fresh out of qualifiers for North America, would you agree that Wicked has been presumably one of the strongest?
In NA, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
No, Xplicit easily, hands down. And then on the flip side of things, in EU, I think EUE has basically just been one of the best teams of all qualifier teams.
Europe is a totally different beast, right? I always love getting to watch the qualifiers for Europe because they always actually have good teams come through. This is different for NA, okay? We normally have teams make it through qualifiers and then we're like,
just get completely dominated.
Damn, should you have?
Well, I mean, Xplicit, didn't they win the qualifiers?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they're looking good.
Well, I mean, they're sitting in a number 4 seed right now, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm saying
seed.
This season is the best season we've had as far as competitiveness in North America goes. Period. Is that a fair statement to agree on?
Yeah, I could agree.
Yeah, this is the best North America has ever looked, in my opinion. We've had a lot of seasons where it was just like 4 teams and then nobody else. We've got like realistically 7 teams competing for a spot in the playoffs, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We are going to take a short break, guys, as we get geared up for our next game, which is going to be Xplicit versus DXD. I certainly think this should be one of the bigger matches of the night. Not really as far as standings go, but because these teams are tied for 4th, I certainly want to see who's able to take an edge here. So we're going to take a quick break, guys, and we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are gearing up for our DST versus Xplicit matchup. I think both of these teams we did not probably expect to be as high in the standings as they have resulted in being verdict. Obviously, we got to see DST in a previous state, right? Op 34. They were a team in qualifiers, and then a whole debacle happened, right? Not necessarily at their fault. Just to clarify for everybody, not necessarily at their fault. Just a lot of things changed in the scene. And then we have Xplicit, a team that has largely been comprised of players that have at one point been on teams that have not had great performances in Mobile Mayhem. That look great underneath this unified team, right? You have like a couple players from Devious, you have a couple players from Storm F4, and while those teams have been lackluster in their own right, they're performing here well. DST, listen, I knew this team had talent. I had no idea they were ranked number 1 in the Latin Mobile Mayhem verdict. No idea.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. Yeah. Like, I knew it was a good team, but I didn't know they were performing that well. And, here they are top 4 in NA as well.
It's pretty cracked, bro. I gotta say, I mean, this team has been one of those teams that we followed, obviously, from seasons past qualifiers. They've made it here again. They actually got an invited slot, and right now they're trying to defend that 4th place spot. Now this is a battle of challenger teams. You can see it. It's Xplicit. It's DST.
DST ain't no challenger team anymore, bud.
I mean, they are not a challenger team, but they were once, right?
True.
Now they have earned their right to be invited. And surely enough, who's going to come out on top? Obviously, I got to roll with DST here. I'm not, shining any kind of like shade towards Xplicit, but let's be fair. Are they number 1 team in LATAM as well as a number 4 team in A?
Currently, they're tied for number 4 team in NA, and I think that's about as far as it goes for them right now. So
there we go. Well,
possibly in the future, but I'm right on board with you. I think DST probably has the edge in this matchup. We look at our map pool here as well, and we've got a raid hardpoint to start things off. We've got a firing range search and destroy for game 2, and if we make it to that game 3, we will have a summit domination. Largely, I think DST has had more impressive performances than the side of Xplicit, and that's only marginally. Again, I will give all the credit in the world to how Xplicit had performed so far this season. I think there's a couple matchups that I would look at that are reasons why I lean DST here. One of the key ones, listen, Xplicit took a search and destroy off of Zygnus, I think in the first week of competition. And that's not an easy feat, okay? And we can give them all the credit in the world, right? The hard point, the domination, they kind of got slapped. DST versus Zygnus, the hard point was incredibly close start to finish. The search and destroy was incredibly close start to finish. And the domination was incredibly close start to finish. Both those teams did drop to Zygnus in a 2-1 fashion. And I think that's one position that I would certainly say DST maybe had a little bit more convincing of a performance. And then another is, I would say, probably the matchup with Upper Echelon. I would say DST took the 2-1 there, whereas Xplicit obviously, I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to find it on here, I'm pretty sure they got 2-0'd. Xplicit Tribe, no. Eleventy, no. Why am I not seeing it on here? Am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? Here it is. Okay. Upper Echelon did win that matchup. There it is. I found it. 2-1. So Xplicit once again did take the search and destroy there, but that's really been their strong suit.
Well, here we go. Admin say start. We start. We're jumping right back in. It's the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California, as we see the Raid Hardpoint start us off in this best of 3 series. DST have, you know, an upper hand in this series, I gotta say. I'll be surprised if we make it to a Game 3. If it does, it's gonna be on the backs of a well-executed search and destroy, because right now I think DST is swimming, you know, sharks in the water right now. But good night. Point is held. It is gonna be P1 out in the open. Possibly one of the most competitive one, and I gotta say, the upper hand now, Xplicit, they kind of racking up the feed. They're kind of racking up the objective time and kind of throwing DST for a loop.
Yeah, definitely a big start for the side of Zygnus here, and this is arguably one of the maps that has a little bit easier of a P1 hold, right? Just because you have so much head glitch opportunity, the strength of having control of either Red Room or Laundry can make it very difficult to remake that break in, so it's not really a shock to see a good performance, especially when you make that break. The big thing is going to be on a map like Raid is the rotations, because there are a couple hard points that can be very, very strong, right? That getting back to a P1, obviously it's kind of a coin flip on who wins the gunfights for the first P1. A strong rotation to a P1 reset is key here, as well as strong rotations for P2, P3, and P4 can all be incredible hard points to hold. The one that I would say is the most difficult on this map is P5, and even then, you can have a good P5 hole.
Yeah, you can now. You can see the pressure coming through from all angles. Looks like the courtside approach here is going to be shut down. Xplicit going to be trying to make their way in their entry back into this P2 kitchen site. Yon wins a big gunfight up top of the staircase, but that's about as far as it goes. The break looking like it's going to be shut down. There's 2 players in money room looking to make the push out. Rehan gets shut down, and DST may have had a subpar P1 performance, but they are making it up here inside of the kitchen side. Now as 20 seconds up, the break finally comes through. And Xplicit, they're going to be able to maintain their lead and their advantage, but guess what? It's all at the sacrifice of not making that P3 early rotation now. As you can see, 1 player already there for Xplicit. That's Cartels. He's AC side. He's going to pop the TAC 5. It's going to give him a little boost of energy, but guess what? It is equally met with DST popping their TAC 5 as well. Big rotation. Xplicit win a few gunfights, and wow, DST, they're nowhere in sight.
Well, definitely looking like a good start for Xplicit here, and you know, again, this has been one of the positions that I think they've struggled in the most, is hardpoint, especially on maps that really require some good team fight wins, right? They're a team that you know has theoretically made some great rotations in the past, but you know, tends to lack a little bit in the, or is inconsistent is maybe a better way to put it, with their gunfight wins. But right now they're doing a pretty great job. Beetle maybe having one of the better performances we've seen out of him this season. He's on a 10-4 right now. You've got Cartels on 9, Yawn on 7. Rehan, he's typically speaking one of the top fraggers of this team, and he's struggling on 5 and 10 right now. You look at the opposition, keeping up very, very similarly. We've got Brian on 10, Lucifer on 11. You've got 4 for Aramis, so you've got 1 player that's lacking a little bit behind, and then you've got Legend with 9 and Overshoot with 8. So DST absolutely still in this. We're looking at a 26-point difference, and you know, that's not even a half of a hard point that they need to make a comeback happen.
Yeah, and again, it's all up to this P4 courtside rotation as DST covers the top side. They're looking for the spawn control. Points open for business, and guess what? Xplicit to cash it in on some of the objective time. Nobody in sight to contest there. Bright looking for the shots with the Sparrow. Going to find one before he finds himself? Question mark? Yeah, that's right. In the feed, it was certainly correct. He hits the edge of the wall. Very unfortunate timing. Rehan's going to waste his Annihilator, but Yarn coming through with a big 2-piece. Make it 4 in the feed for him with the grab Vortex. Not going to be enough for the break, though, is Brian and DST. They're all over the objective. And now it's time for a comeback for them now as they are racking it up here in the court.
Well, Brian comes through with a big 2-piece for the team there to maintain their control. As you can see on the scoreboard here, we've basically got enough time where if DST do lock down every second of this, they should be 1 point behind. And, you know, we're getting ready to move over to that P5. So not a great opportunity for either of these teams without streaks to have a great performance. So as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and cycle on through. No streaks there, no streaks there, no streaks there, no streaks anywhere for anybody. We've got a couple operators available, but, you know, we're not going to have a big cluster or anything like that to really lock down this exposed hill.
Well, We'll see who makes the first wrong move. It's going to be DST. Overshoot going to be able to take down one before he drops. And Lucifer, he's the man on the point for DST before he gets shut down. Bright from downtown. Good night, homie. Where did that even come from? Doesn't matter. He's on the objective now. DST starting to scramble a little bit. Here comes the push from another. One by one they push. One by one they fall. Xplicit kind of doing a great job here on this open P5 rotation. Courtyard for them has been a massive dub. As a matter of fact, it's been a primary them on the point or them just keeping DST out of the objective. And that gap is starting to slowly get more and more out of hand. DST, they're opting for an early rotation. So what do you think about P1 reset coming up? We've already went through 5 hill rotations. On the 6th one, we go ahead and make it jump into a VC and get those first little listen-ins in.
Who do you want to go in with?
Let's go with DST to see if they can battle it out since they have the advantage on this P1
Lit,
rotation.
let's go.
Top rojo, top rojo.
Ahí. Top rojo,
Toma, no de pick, queda uno.
Pilares, Lucy, pilares a la izquierda.
Voy, te apoyo, estoy aquí.
Pilares un tiro.
Muerto, top rojo,
Pilares,
muerto, top
3.
Avísame,
Entró. Pilares otro para ver. Pilares.
Entren al punto, cabrón, pero...
Muerto.
Me mata aquí.
Uno ojo rojo. Todo rojo ahora.
Rampa por burro.
Pilares entró.
Top rojo.
No, SKS doble. Ya van para cocina.
Vamos, rotando.
Vete.
Cocina SKS.
Obvio, una.
Medio.
Medio.
Casi pushando este pendejo.
Están tres viejos creo, o 2.
Muerto árbol, necesito ayuda.
Voy a aguantar jungla, Brian.
Tenemos tag.
Ay,
No,
chico,
no,
madre, cabrón.
estoy tocado.
Uno raid.
Uno más.
Ahí sí,
no.
Pasaron jungla.
Jungla pasó.
Jungla el último, papi. Nasco cancha.
Muerto.
No,
medio,
te va.
Pero, güey.
Muerto.
Rocas.
Tengo otro Londi. No, sí.
André un tiro.
Va uno mid.
Muerto. Alguien que se ponga árbol.
Dos piscinas. 3, creo que 3. 3 o 2 piscinas.
Carretilla ya. 3 money, papi.
Hay uno cancha. Va Money.
No, 3 carretillas.
Moni tocadísimo. Moni, una bala, Lin.
Muerto otro money.
Entraron dos atrás.
No, me quedé ver las balas, güey. Sigue dando
No, viendo para money tocado.
Usaron tag. Ese.
All right, bro. I gotta say that might be the most frustrated I've ever heard DST. And they're making the comeback happen, and they still just sounded so frustrated.
I'm laughing because it was like frustrated, but it was like the intensity, the passion. You can like literally feel it in there, bro. I almost felt like I was getting tilted because we weren't holding those points, right? Well, you know, they've done a good job of maintaining the deficit, not letting it get out of hand too much. But they have yet to put any kind of success on a money hill at all. This is a make or break point for me, for DST in particular. If they can't hold this P3 site as well as, you know, they should have earlier, we might be seeing this end early.
It is quite possible, and, you know, we've got about a 20-point lead for the side of Xplicit right now, but we've got a big break into what I would consider to be the money hill of this map. That's going to be Garage for the side of DST here. You can see Beatles and Cartels.
Look at Cartels. Dude is literally on the outside contesting. How cheeky, bro.
And I'm going to be honest with you, that's probably going to result in a DQ.
Bro.
I mean,
yeah,
that is...
Come on, bro. That's
it's a known spot. It's a known spot.
Come on.
We've had teams get DQ'd in the past before for that. Yeah, that was rough to watch. I
was like, who the hell's in the objective? And I look at Cartels, I'm like, you little rat. Come on, bro. We know this spot. You know it just as well as I do. Come on.
Yeah, that's a rough thing to have happen to Xplicit, especially when they were having such a good performance early on. But of course, we're not gonna let something like that get away. I had it right on the screen, like as you're pointing it out, like we're literally staring at homie laying against the wall. You know what I mean?
Test that. There's nobody in the objective, and then I look and I'm like, oh, this little cheeky spot. I thought we were over those days. Well, it was a pretty competitive match, and it was all fun. I was enjoying this one as it was a back and forth blow. Someone gets the objective, someone gets the break, someone gets the hold. Xplicit had primarily had the advantage, and then we see something like that, and I'm just like, damn, homie. Is this how this one ends? Just like that?
That's how that one ends, just like that, man. That's rough. I hate that I witnessed that, especially after as much as we've hyped up Xplicit and how well they've done all season. This ain't ranked, boy. This is not ranked. You can't do that here, and you know, it just is what it is.
I'm all for giving your team the advantage, but you know, plays like that, just come on. All right, we'll just shut up. We'll just move on. Right now it's 240. Xplicit, they had the lead before this. They could have probably won this game without any kind of cheeky spots like that, but nonetheless, it is 8 points that separate Xplicit from a game 1 victory, question mark. Asterisk at the end of the sentence. Don't have any kind of like confidence to say, yeah, that's really what's happening right now. In such a solid damn performance to be thrown out the window. Just kind of distasteful.
Yeah, I mean, distasteful is, you know, we do try to wait until after a game to, you know, say if there's going to be a DQ call, but like when it's that blatantly obvious what's going on and we're watching it right there on the screen, and it's such a unsportsmanlike position to be in, like I'm not going to hold back. Like honestly, that was a huge sell. Okay, that was a huge sell.
Yeah,
they're in a position where they could have just won the game if they kept playing. They still could come through and close it out. But it just doesn't matter at this point. So hopefully they can keep this energy forward and maybe have a good search and destroy, maybe give us that game 3. But man, DST, they have fought tooth and nail for this one, and it's looking right now like they're going to get it.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. That spot's been a well-known spot for at least 6 months. I think I saw Tech in chat talk about some 2 to 3 months. No, homie, that spot has been there for like at least half a year. I remember we saw Meeseeks in...
I'm pretty sure Tribe got DQ'd from that like a year ago because I think Marshy went AFK in that spot or something, and it ended up resulting in a score difference.
Look, Xplicit aren't even going to be able to get the win. The break comes through. DQ or not. Oh my, the mighty have fallen. Xplicit, they've been dropped 250 to, oh goodness, that was just a stout performance from DST regardless of what happened on the backside. But when we see things like that, it just makes you wonder, like, the competitive integrity, is it still intact? You know, are you questioning what's going on? Are you holding your teammates accountable when they're doing cheeky stuff like that?
I hope so. I do hope so.
I hope they are.
Especially when you get caught doing it so blatantly, right? And, you know, listen, I normally don't cheer for one team or the other or be happy that one team or the other won. You know, I'm always cheering for that game 3, even if it's my favorite team versus my least favorite team. But the reality here is I'm glad DST came back and won that, just like as that extra rub it in your face, because they got denied like 15 seconds of hill time, right? And then still won by 2 points. So
exactly. Round of applause for DST. Stout performance. DQ or not, they take the dub. P1 ending. You know, I think that's all that we could have talked about towards the end, because, you know, we're not trying to shame cartels, but, you know, we're also just trying to highlight that kind of behavior is not tolerated here, regardless. Like, we're trying to keep as clean as a competitive scene as we can possible. Obviously, the game has bugs, right? That particular spot has not been patched. It's been at least, God, we said 2 to 3 months earlier. We said 6 months. We also here in a year. It's been there for a while, bro. All right, and it's frowned upon. It's also DQable. Again, we're not going to bash cartels for that kind of behavior, but again, we are going to.
But his team should
hold them to a standard, which is you're going to pay the price if you do the wrong thing, right?
And that was some quick karma too, because it was going to be a DQ one way or another, just to have Xplicit really put the gears in motion and move forward. They end up coming through with the 2-point win anyway. Legend put through 41, 38 for Brian. You've got a minute 35 on the hill for Brian. You've got 3:30 for Aramis, bro. 3:30. Look over the opposition. Beetle, Rehan put up some great, very, very respectable hardpoint time, right? 2:25, 2 minutes. That's great. Aramis put up 3:30 for the team and helped them come through and lock down that victory. And not just by a technicality. They came through and won.
They did. And they had been primarily losing the entire game. Like, there was no momentum that indicated that DST was going to close that gap easily, right? There was not any chance. There was always like a 30-point, lead in favor of Xplicit. Even going into the P4 rotation, we get into the P5 hill. you know, basically we talked about it the entire time about the DQ opportunity, and lo and behold, DST come through with just a massive amount of energy, close out P5, get the break on P1, and that was it.
All right, well, we are going to be gearing up for our firing range search and destroy between Xplicit and DST. And, you know, I got to say, Xplicit have looked their absolute best in search and destroy. So I think there still is a chance that we get a game 3 here. And I certainly want to see it. There's a little bit more on the line than just me wanting to root for game 3 here because it's a game 3. These two teams are tied for 4th place. These two teams are teams that came realistically this season out of nowhere. I think took a lot of players and people by surprise, right? Xplicit again is comprised of players from teams that have not had great performances, and they've really had an impactful season this time around. Maybe some of the maybe staying a little too devious. Maybe that's the way we go with it there. But you know, DST.
It's a lifestyle, bro. It's a movement, right?
It is. But you know, maybe you got to reform a little bit too, just enough to get through the games. But DST, you know, again, they're a team that we saw with a lot of potential in the past. We've seen them each kind of here and there on some other teams. We've seen some of these players compete with Eleventy or with Lux. And, you know, they're back here under the name DST. You know, I think 4 out of the 5 players are original Op 34. Then we've got Lucifer and a couple other players in here. But, you know, they're not only having an impactful season in NA, but they are, again, I think ranked number 1. And if not number 1 right now, they were last week. And it's still very, very close for LATAM. So definitely a team that's had an impactful season, a team that has impressed me, and a team that I certainly look forward to seeing for seasons and seasons to come.
Well, here we go. Game 2, deciding factor. Are we going to see that game 3, or is this it for Xplicit? The comeback was real for DST. Can they close it out 2-0 fashion? The defense here for Xplicit is they're going to be starting off. You can see 2 players making their way towards A, 1 making their way towards B, and 2 kind of in that mid-lurking area. Pretty conservative push here from the side of DST now as Lucifer is looking to open the floodgates, maybe get a pick or 2 sniper in hand. But Legend, he is definitely one of those snipers you got to keep an eye on too. Lucifer is going to be eating a shot there. Not sure who it was from, but doesn't even test the waters. Just going to drop back. Brian gets dropped. Rehan doing his due diligence. Good shots now as First Blood's in the side of Xplicit's favor. And he is there to let everyone know that you cannot transition through jungle.
Hear me out on this rotation here. How, DST, how did you guys allow 2 players from the side of Xplicit push up into trailer and get that trailer control completely uncontested? Let alone the fact that Rehan comes through, sneaks one through the trees there to take down Legend. We're now looking at a 5 versus 3. A is just not a realistic feat, so they've got to make a play towards B. And, well, Cartels, he's waiting here ready to go. And, you know, Kilo in hand, certainly still a strong weapon in the meta. Certainly one of the strongest weapons in the meta, I should say. So he's ready to beam anybody that comes around this corner. We did have 1 picked up by Ovi Shoot. Takes down Beetle, but we're still looking at a 3v4 right now.
Here it is. The call-outs are going to come through. They think the A-long push is coming in. There's a gunfight. Aramis dumpsters Cartels. And look at this. No funny games here, though. This bomb's going to go down as quickly. Lucifer's going to be able to get 1, but Ovi Shoot drops. It's the good old 3 for 2. Make it a 3 for 4. As you see, Aramis gets the bomb plant down, but is it going to be enough to hold off the push? 35 seconds on the clock. He's done the deed.
This
but
is a
where the
weird
hell is he
rotation,
going?
bro.
This is such a weird rotation.
He planted backside B, I'm pretty sure.
They're A-long, right? And maybe trailer. He's got plenty of time, he thinks.
Yeah, but look where he planted the bomb, and now look at the angle that he's playing. He's giving the opponents the head glitch, and it's a 2v1.
All right,
This
well,
is
we'll
rough.
see if it pays off. Yeah, 15 seconds.
All right, well, we've got Rehan and Bright playing close on their 2s. They have the heady available. He sneaks for the push.
Oh! Aramis, 200 IQ. We never had a doubt in our minds. We don't care where you planted that bomb at, dude. You literally took them for a ride, and bro, they did not enjoy it. Good night. Look, I don't know if we should probably not have questioned that plan, right? Wrong.
No, that was a terrible play, but the COD timing happened to work.
You know how when you say like that was such a terrible play by a terrible player that he was so terrible that it worked out? I don't think that applies here, but that same kind of logic kind of panned out perfectly, didn't it?
The COD timing there was like absolutely surreal because you had Rihan laying down planting, and you had Bright looking up mid, ready to go. As soon as Aramis takes like one step, I was literally watching Bright. Bright's camera immediately turns to the right door, and that was absolutely it. So big play for Aramis there. We start off round 2 with a 1-for-1 trade. It's Bright for Ovi shoot. That leaves things in a 4 versus 4. We do have Yawn playing a normal sniper position mid. I don't think you quite get those revealing tags and whatnot without a sniper scope, but obviously the plant coming through, they know where their opponents are. They know now the angles that they kind of have to be worried about. Well, maybe not fully, because Yawn walks literally right into Legend, who finds him, but Rihan comes through with kill number 4.
Kill number 4. He's on a little bit of a stroke of genius right now. Aramis is as well. He's continuing his rampage, but he's shut down now. Rihan looking for the player in trailer. It's Brian. He's half health. Not going to be able to get the shots. Able to get the Renetti to follow up, but now it's all on Lucifer. The 1v1. Rihan, can you hit your shots? Absolutely you can. And there's not a doubt there. The time is absolutely perfect. And that's going to be a 1-for-1. It should have been a 2-0 realistically, but good die, bro. I'm going to go back here. Somebody in chat clip it, because that round was just such, I mean, I've never been bamboozled or fooled as much as that round fooled me, right?
Hey, you're not the only one that got fooled by it. I was a fool for it, and, Xplicit got kind of clowned on, okay? But that is just the reality sometimes. Once again, we've got Yawn pushed up towards Sandbags here, looking to play that mid position. Not even a kilo this time. Homie switched over to the MAC-10, and this is, in my opinion, kind of a weird angle to play with the MAC-10, because you are limited to what you can do at trailer. And you're looking to hit as many shots as you can before someone pushes in through mid, right? MAC-10, that is pushing its, like, super effective range. We've got a grenade from Ovi shoot coming inside. Bright, no fear, just fight. I think he had a trophy system down. So he's good to go. And no first blood yet. We've burned through almost half of our time. And we're just now getting a push up by the side of DST.
Yeah, well, you know, again, we've talked about this in the first round. 2 players in trailer. Nobody really there to shut down the push. How the hell do they get in trailer and nobody's there to really, like, answer the door or contest? They're just kind of chilling. They're kind of lounging, right? They're kind of ratting it out of here, waiting for someone to make some wrong move. And Overshoot, he's the blind victim looking to possibly get some shots uncontested. Well, guess what? You round the corner any further, Beetle's going to make you the next victim. And I surely saw the headshot. Well, oh my God, Beetle. What was that trigger discipline? The contest to go along with it. It was just so dumb. It played out perfectly. Lucifer takes him out, but Bright, the second one inside the trailer, peeks out and gets a little bit more than he could handle, but sure enough handles it well. That's Lucifer drop. Now it's Aramis and Legend, but it's 2v4. Come on, Aramis, are you really trying to hit that?
Some range.
Come on, Aramis, get the smoke down. Get out of there. Evacuate the premises.
Rotates right on over into Rihan. Gets taken down by Bright. Rihan pulls out the Renetti, finishes off Legend. And the 2-1 lead is in favor of Xplicit. Now we might still get that game 3 again. Search and Destroy is where Xplicit have had their best strides, right? This is where they performed the best. They've taken down Goofy Goobers in Search. They've taken down Zygnus in Search. They've taken Upper Echelon. I think, if I remember correctly, they either took some games off, a game off of Tribe either here or on a Sunday as well. They 2-0'd Xplicit. You know, granted, Xplicit had their own issues that day, but you know, that's neither here nor there. That's still a win in the books for Xplicit.
Legend might have missed so many shots that last round, but he's gotten 3 this one and is certainly making up for the last ditch effort. Now it's 2v2. We're moving on to the last round on the attack here for DST, and it's literally a split decision. as we're about to run into the last round on the attack. What are your thoughts so far? I mean, I read in chat somewhere it said it's the battle of who can make the worst play, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that was kind of a shot fired, but I kind of enjoyed that one. It made me kind of chuckle a little bit.
I think it was in Mobile Mayhem. I think the search was like a 6-4, and Tribe had been looking great in search. So Xplicit, you know, they've got some opportunities here. I think they're a great search and destroy team. So for saying it's a battle of who can make the worst play versus who can make the worst play, I don't fully want to agree with that, because I think both these teams are well enough accomplished, right? Again, DST's in first place in LATAM, guys. They're top 4 in NA, and they're tied with this team here. So I don't know if I can go that far, but we've certainly had some unique ones, okay?
Oh, unique or not, I think Rihan has been the most unique. The shots have always been on point. Jan's going to be able to find one. Does the damage, gets out of dodge. Why the hell is the bomb all the way over at the A-long site? And Overshoot is literally here on B. Is this like God's plan? Is this what we're seeing, you know, happen right here? Overshoot with 2 kills on board. As a matter of fact, 2 players are there at one point, but they get dropped as Jan does a deed and bounces out of the area. Now, as you can see the reposition, they're looking for the pinch. Jan is literally on the A-long site, holding off through Armory. You got Rihan collapsing through wood. Overshoot dumpsters them. And now it's a 1v1 yet again. Can Rihan put the team on his back? He's got 9 on board. He's going to need double digits to close this one out. As the bomb's going to go down, it's going to be planted over at the A site. Rihan, he might be able to catch him off this this angle right here. Does he still have the sniper in his hand? Doesn't matter. He's going to peek up with the CBR. The shot's a little premature. That's going to give away his location, but now he's got the best seats in the world. It's the bomb head glitch, right?
Well, definitely a big position to be in for Rihan, but he's got to be able to land those shots to make it safe. And, well, Overshoot's there, ready. Yeah. Yep, good play from Overshoot there. Like, actually good play. Overshoot there does come through with the 3-2 advantage for the side of DST off their offense. Now, we're going to switch sides. It's Xplicit's turn to try to make their pushes here. They need 4 rounds to come through with the win. They've got to prevent their opponents from picking up 3 more. So, could go either which way. Again, I want to believe we're going to get that game 3. But, you know, I kind of fall right back to that hard point where after everything that happened, I'd realistically be okay if DST won here. Just kind of to rub it in their face, you know?
That's kind of respectful, right? I mean, Lucifer is going to find first blood, but he's quickly traded. I mean, nothing is better than putting the piss stain right in the face of the person who piss stained it, right? You know, it's kind of teaching your dog a lesson. Now we got to teach Xplicit a lesson. Well, you know what? Everyone deserves second chances. Right here, they're getting the second chance to search and destroy. Rihan closes it out. Just a nasty, disrespectful shot. As a matter of fact, it happened so quickly, I don't even know if that was the last kill or not. We're tied up. Doesn't matter. It's 11 kills on board for Rihan. And he may not be Rihan, but he is certainly top fragging and carrying this Xplicit roster. Take Rihan out of the picture. Does Xplicit tie 3-3 here? Let's be like a 6-0. Let's be real.
I mean, Brian has 0. So if Rihan's not here, maybe a couple of the other teammates pick up a couple extra kills. Maybe they're still in it. But to be fair, at the same time, this is a 3-3 with, you know, basically being a 5 versus 4, right? We got 7 for Lucifer, 7 for Aramis, 6 for Legend, 4 for Overshoot. Brian still looking to get an extra kill on the board. Not going to be there. Gets taken down by cartels. And now the 4-3 advantage is in favor of the side of Xplicit. They've got the bomb planted. They've got time on their side. And they can look to take an advantage right here, right now.
Well, certainly looking like it's the case. Legend says absolutely not. Makes it a 2v3 as he hits the shots through the windowsills of trailer. And now the 2v3 push is going to have to come now or never. It's 20 seconds on the clock. You've got to make a move. And Aramis kind of getting the smoke out in perfect positioning. Oh my, gets wrecked on that transition. But Jan does the deed and he gets taken down. Now it's all on Legend. He rounds the corner. Cartels going to make him pay. We got the advantage flipping back in favor of Xplicit. We were talking about rubbing the dog inside of the piss, rubbing the face of the dog in the piss stain. Well, right now that piss stain, it's kind of gone, man. We're over it now. And Xplicit, they might be fighting for a game 3 here. We might be seeing that game 3 based off that round.
It is certainly quite possible here, Verdict, and, you know, looking forward to this matchup. We've still got 2 more rounds that have to be found by the side of Xplicit. That's no guarantee. You know, I'm a fan of that whole, if you found 3, you can find 3 more saying. So there's definitely an opportunity for DST to still bring this one together. We've got no first blood yet. Kind of a passive set of plays for both of these teams. But Cartels is able to pick up Legend, making a little bit of a slow rotation across that window in top 10. And now we're looking at a 5 versus 4 in Xplicit's favor.
Yeah, now, minute 15, staying still and down here. Got a 4-3 lead in favor of Xplicit, and they're looking for the game 3. They're practically begging for it. And, you know, as long as Rehan's alive, that dream continues on. Now here is the push looking like they might be, you know, hinting towards an A-side affair, but Overshoot kind of in an aggressive spot. Oh, my, almost lines up to collapse, but jungle side is certainly not safe. Oh, baby, the no-scope. Ovi does the deed. He gets out of dodge. Get out of there, bro. Safe and sound he is. Aramis actually going to be able to have his back there, too. And now here comes the push towards the jungle site as he saw the motions through. Lucifer, 7 on board. Have to have a ton of gun skill. Where are the call-outs? Why is nobody letting anybody know that Lucifer is the lone wolf? Well, he handles his own. He finds what Aramis there for the backup, but it's a little bit more of a moral support, right? Lucifer's dropped. Nobody's really inside a compromised position except for Brian. Bomb's going to be collected. Yawn rounds the corner. The slide peek. The shots. Lines another one up, but Overshoot shuts him down. Overshoot shuts him Bright down as well, and that's the 2-piece. That's the round. That's tied up yet again, Dave.
Yeah, and that was a big comeback round for the side of DST, right? Because we mentioned that Cartels found first blood onto Legend, and they went to make that aggressive push. Obviously, Beetle knew Lucifer was in the back. Maybe they thought he rotated out after being exposed, but not going to happen. He comes through with 2 big picks for the team, and, you know, they make some good rotations. Overshoot finds the snipe, follows it up with the 1911 whip, and Beetle. Literal frag to open up on Overshoot. And a much more aggressive A push coming through here. Yawn takes down Brian as well, who, you know, bless his soul, still hasn't found a kill. He's sitting on an 0-8 donut right now. Pretty rough, but all it takes is 1 kill to save a game, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, in the South, I don't know what, you know, it's like that in Michigan. But when you say bless his soul, it is literally an insult, bro. It's pretty much saying go F yourself, right?
That's kind of it's kind of what's going on here, right? His team is hanging in by a thread, and he's not getting a kill on the board.
Bless his soul, bro. Right here, Soul not going to be able to find the first blood as of yet. Yawn and Rehan, well, they cover it up, and now we're on map point. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 more round is needed for Xplicit. We might be domination bound after this round.
Yeah, we're not going full disrespect there, but again, Brian picks up, you know, look at it. You could be 0-10, right? I mean, you could be dropping the biggest donut in the world. It comes down to a 1v1 in a round 11, and you get that kill. That kill mattered, right? So, you know, we've got hopes. Legend finds 1 onto Cartels to open things up. We've now got Lucifer holding an angle. We've got Bright pushing on into him. This could be a big play. Even a 1-for-1 trade here is big for Lucifer if he's able to pick up 1. We got a snipe coming through, not quite getting the hit marker. Finds Beetle, pushes up, looking for Bright as well, takes him down. We might get that round 11 yet.
Yeah, round 11, overtime, certainly looking like it's a guaranteed thing. Now, Lucifer, I don't know if he noticed it, but the bomb is literally right underneath him. Rehan just continuing to make it rain here on this firing range map. This is a sniper's paradise as he's sitting on the big 1-4-14 double digits carrying this squad. As well as John, who, again, has picked up double digits and picked up slack as well. Do they think they have the bomb here? They certainly don't, bro. There is no way that they think they have the bomb here. Jan just playing the head glitch, obviously. The call-outs is going to come through. Finally, Lucifer going to give the intel as he has the bomb literally right in front of him. And now it's a push towards the bomb. Are they going to be able to make it in time and collect, or are they going to have to play team deathmatch up? With the way that their pace is going right here, it's looking like it's going to have to be a team deathmatch.
All right, well, Aramis gets some sights on Rehan there, not able to pick up the kill, but they have themselves an advantage. It's 3-2 with only 20 seconds to go. And Xplicit, they still need to find a bomb pickup. Legend finds 1. Aramis finds the other. Round 11, we're switching sides. DST, the 1-3 out of 5, but obviously anything can happen here in round 11. Are we going to get that game 3, or are DST going to close things out 2-0?
Defend the objectives.
Find out now as here it is. Overtime, we flip sides. for the last time. And here comes the aggressive A push. 2 players yet again inside the trailer. That's Bright. That is Beetle. They're content with holding the fort down there as the push is going to be an A-long aggressive one. Aramis looking to get the bomb plant down. Here comes the smoke. He gets the signal. Here comes the push. Lucifer is going to be able to find 1. Lucifer is going to be able to find 2. And this might be it for Xplicit. Well, guess what? Rehan's still alive.
Homie, is Legend just straight AFK right now, or is this a strat? Oh, he's moving. Is this a strat? Is he just waiting for the late rotation?
Yeah, possibly.
Looking like it right now. Yawn walks into certain death. Cartels does pick up 1, gives his position away. Legend's going to take him down. Aramis finds Rehan, and DST come through and close things out in 2-0 fashion. And I think this is one of the times that I'm like maybe the most accepting of a 2-0, especially between 2 teams that are so close that I came into this series saying I've got to have a game 3 here to decide who's going to take the advantage in that tied number 4 spot. But DST going to pick themselves up 20 points here today.
They are, and that's going to kind of put Xplicit in a weird position. Why? Because they're not guaranteed to 100% sit. Hold up. I was looking at the scorecard there. They're sitting at 75 for the standings, right? They're not safe with 75 points in the top 6 seed. As a matter of fact, Mayhem can pass him after this matchup. As a matter of fact, Upper Echelon could pretty much be up there as well, as they're coming through in this series alone. Could be right there on that 70 mark. And Xplicit, they don't have any kind of certainty right now. Their fate is up in the hands, and they kind of sold themselves on the hard point and then followed it up with a pretty banger search or destroy. But DST be able to get the best of them. And guess what? Homie Brian, Mayamo as Brian, he gets a singular stick from Olive Garden to cap it all off. And that 1 kill might have been the one that, made the difference.
Maybe not the difference, but it did make a difference. I'm pretty sure he saved Aramis in trailer, so I'm gonna call that a dub kill.
All right, we'll take our dubs wherever we can get them, right?
Yeah, and kind of mentioning where Xplicit and Mayhem sit, they face each other on Thursday. So you are absolutely right. There's a real chance that Xplicit don't pick up points on Thursday as well. There's a possibility they could come through and win. But I'm just saying they don't have like a substantially easier opponent that's going to get them points. You know what I mean? It's not like they're going up against a Vandals or a Wicked, which are respectable teams in their own right, but they're certainly not, at least this season, teams competing to be in top 6, right? So you would kind of have a guesstimate on how those matchups would go. We've got some great matches for Thursday, guys. I mean, we've got Tribe versus Goofy Goobers on Thursday, Wicked versus Upper Echelon, Xplicit versus Mayhem, Zygnus versus Vandals, probably going to be the most one-sided one, and then we've got Eleventy versus DST. So, I mean, it's going to be a long day on Thursday. I don't know if one of those matches is happening off stream, but that's a great day of Mobile Mayhem, period.
I might be calling out sick if we see all 5 matches in one night. That's going to be a hell of a long.
I'll cast with Dazzy, it's fine.
Oh, cool. Give him the invite. He can take my hot seat, bro. It's been pretty warm over here.
I make that joke because he was in chat earlier saying, "Yo, come on, let me cast a game."
Poggers.
Yeah. All right, well, guys, we are going to take a short break as we get geared up for our final match of the night. It's going to be the NYSL Mayhem versus Upper Echelon, who still have not got a new logo made and is just giving Verdict all the anxiety in the world, chat.
The Liger, no anxiety, bro. Just bad taste in my mouth. Tastes like butt cheeks.
Oh, God. All right, well.
Liger just looks so awful, bro.
All right, well, if there's any graphic designers in chat that want to throw a bone to Upper Echelon, Verdict says that they could use it. I ain't going to disagree with Verdict on that one. We could have maybe a logo that makes us think of Upper Echelon, but we're going to take a quick break, guys. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. We're here for our final match of the night. I certainly got to think it's been one of the more anticipated ones, especially with the NYSL Mayhem having more of their starting lineup back. We obviously saw him make a return last week. That's going to be Little B coming through for the Mayhem verdict, and then we've got Upper Echelon as well, who, again, is a team stacked full of talent that have just had a rough season. And you know, I think these two teams certainly have potential. I think these players certainly are all very deserving and capable of, you know, a playoff spot at minimum, if not more. I mean, again, you look at Mayhem and you've got Little B, you've got Rapallo, Carlos, Nero, Space. So you got several players that went to stage 5 and you know, continue to have amazing performances. You look over at the opposition, you've got several players that came in second place in stage 5, right? And then you've also got some extra talent on the team like Veteran and Schnapps. So
yeah, I think this matchup has a lot of weight. I think obviously we're taking a look at it in the grand scheme of things. This is huge, right? Upper Echelon, they kind of dictate where they end up for the regular season play. They have 2 matches left. This is one of them. The second match that they have on their hands on Thursday, as I was taking a look at it in the brief for that day, they're going to have to square off against Wicked Esports. So I think if they lose here, their playoff run is spoiled unless they somehow find a way to take one map. But Mayhem, I think they have a pretty good shot, right? You've got this one, and you've got Thursday, who they have got to take on Xplicit, and they might be able to swallow Xplicit. We might be seeing some kind of weird 3-way scenario where the last day of Mobile Mayhem could just be complete chaos. But it starts here. This is where it's got to happen. Mayhem can literally extend their lead and secure their spot and put Xplicit on the chopping block. Or we could see Upper Echelon, you know, kind of close the gap here and then also put themselves in a good position to perform for Thursday as well.
all right, well, our best of 3 for this matchup ahead verdict. We are starting things off on a firing range hardpoint. Map 2, we're looking at Raid, Search, and Destroy. Map 3, we've got that standoff domination coming your guys' way. We had bans on Summit hardpoint as well as Crossfire hardpoint. So hopefully we'll get into the match here soon for you guys. We're just waiting on Schnapps to get readied up, and we should be good to go after that. There we go. There we go.
Yep. We're in long haul. This is the last series of the night. This is what all we've been waiting for. This is where it starts for Mayhem, or this is where it ends for the side of Upper Echelon. You have to at least find one game here to feel some kind of hope moving into the last day of Mobile Mayhem. If you find 2, that's even better. Right now, P1's going to be out in the open, looking for some points off the rip. Pingy's there to pick up the objective time. He's actually going to overextend. Not necessarily sure why, because you know how lopsided this map is. You get the flip late, and it's difficult. There it goes. Space able to find the shots through. He's going to be taken down, and now it's literally 2 points on the objective. Nobody really taking advantage of the point. Schnapps tries to get the deed done, but he's going to be quickly traded too. And now it's a double duendo. You put your point in the hill, or do you put your foot on the hill, or do you fall back for spawns? Well, that's a big debacle rolling into a P2 rotation.
Yeah, and P2 is so strong on a map like Firing Range. Obviously, if you have a good P2, you're set up into a good position to make rotations over towards P3. You've got an immediate advantage over your opponents there. And, you know, realistically, it's not that difficult to make a transition from P3 to P4, right? So, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. They kind of just play in this almost like a cat's tail shape around the map. And it can be a little bit snowbally, but at least I would say this is a map that has maybe some of the better spawns in COD Mobile in general for respawns. Better, because I mean the bar is not set very high. The bar is set real low.
Yeah.
And you know, in reality, I wish there was a 5th point on Firing Range hardpoint. Look down in the actual firing range. You've got that building. It's perfect. Because right now, that half of the map is literally just a bad spawn point, right? Like, that's just
it is
rough.
Yeah, it's rough. You find yourself in the firing range itself, certainly could be, you know, devastation. You peek through the rotation to P4. You got jungle. You're getting shut down from that choke point, and then you got container. There's really not many places to go. So you look at a P5 rotation, maybe at that bottom side of firing range where we kick things back off at P1. Maybe that could balance this one out, but right now it's pretty balanced as is. The points are in favor of upper echelon. They're going to have the upper hand rolling into a P3 site, but P3 already occupied. It's got space holding off the rotations from the fire or from the armory site, and a botched concussion there from Jesus as he's trying to get the transition to the front side of trailer. It's just not happening. NYSL Mayhem, they're closing it out here on the P3 as it opens up for shop. They're shutting down the contest, but oh, my veteran finds one that leaves Nero all by his lonesome on the objective, but I think he's got plenty of help on the outskirts, so no harm, no foul.
All right, well, very, very close game between these two teams. Nero tried to make the fight with the Purifier, able to find a couple, but this has just been one crazy battle for this P3. One thing for the Mayhem that I will say they have an advantage coming up is this team used to be called Yo Mama Verdict, right? And, you know, we always had fun making the jokes that Yo Mama would have good holds on P4, right? And you know, the joke was Yo Mama had a good hold on wood, right?
There we go.
And, you know, I think that's something that the Mayhem we fully expect here. And you can see they've already made that rotation over. You've got Nero here. You've got Carlos up top. You've got Space with the Sparrow out. So we could still see a good hold here and a good comeback for the side of the Mayhem. Get themselves some points on the board. Set themselves up to be in a good position for a next P1 reset going into a P2 set, right? If they get some streaks on board, yo, they could be ready to gas up on a reset rotation.
No, you're right. And I think when you're talking about this P4 rotation, such a great hold on wood, you got to be a firm believer that the coach, Zim, is a master of holding wood himself and certainly putting himself in a position to teach this team, as they have yet, they changed the name, right? But that same tactic sticks. And you got to think, it wasn't Yo Mama who had a great hold on wood. It was the coaching staff. Coach Zim foresaw P4 being a big opportunity, and he grabs life by the horns literally on this P4 wood site. And now we're seeing a different ball game. The advantage is in favor of NYSL Mayhem. They get a lockdown on wood, and what happened? Just a P4 hold.
I just saw it from, I think, Veteran's perspective. I think that's who got turned on. But, like, I watched him rotate in behind Nero, and Nero just straight 180 beamed this kid out of existence. I was like, damn, dude. That hurt to watch. Oh, listen, Nero, okay, dude, I don't know if that was the call on the Pred missile. You want me to be honest? That would have been great to sneak into a P2 if your opponents get a early advantage, right? That's a little rough in my opinion. Maybe they could still make it work, but I just don't know, man.
I just don't know. 105 to 90 at 0.1 second time around. The objective is wide open. Finally, upper E. They're not ashamed. They're going to go ahead and put their foot on the hill. Trying to close the gap. And certainly looking for, you know, some kind of saving grace here for upper echelon. The silver lining, is it there? Yeah, well, those 3 players on armory site. Objective going to be picked up as well. That's Pepe putting icing on the cake. And I'm thinking, while we've got a little bit of a rotation coming through for this P2 site, upper echelon, they need the points. We do a quick listen in to see how they take over as they just get wiped.
Let's go ahead and jump in with upper E.
P1 in hell.
P1 dead.
Nice.
One shot, barrels, one shot. There's 2 on barrels. They're Elon. There's 2 on barrels, Elon.
Tunnel. C-truck.
Yo, C-truck. More.
It's all good. We have any streaks?
No.
Ramp, one shot. Two ramp. One tunnel, one ventilation.
I got 2.
That's 3. Get in.
C-truck coming in now, Pepe. C-truck one tap. Hop up, bro. He's going up.
One shot, Jesus.
C-flank barrel side. Rotate.
I got 3.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Rotate.
Rotate. I got this.
Bottom
Go,
one,
go, go,
bottom
go.
one.
Let me get it.
No,
One
One
inside.
side.
Yeah, he's in the door, camping in the corner on the right
both
side
one shot
corner
on you,
mid,
they're both
right
one shot
side
on
corner
you.
mid, dude.
One tower.
Hey,
it's
I'm
base
two off
tower,
streak.
it's base
Two on
tower,
you,
remember,
three on you,
it's
three
base
on you. They're
tower.
playing corners, they're playing corners on you. They're playing corners
Tower
on you.
dead,
Base
tower
tower.
dead.
Nice,
Base
this is-
tower.
we have-
Nice, that's a big kill.
Nice. Good shit.
One tower,
Hey,
trade door,
Ready
nice.
for
Good
y'all,
shit.
bro. Ready for y'all, bro.
Fucking space in bathrooms. There's 2
Stop
bathrooms.
pushing mid. Stop
That's
pushing
nice.
mid.
Fucking shit space.
Yo, Elon.
Yo, one more door.
I got another. I got another guy.
Middle door.
You're on the way,
SKS on
man.
bathrooms. He's on Elon.
Middle door.
SKS Elon.
They got
SKS
tag 5.
Elon.
They got tag 5. Little
Elon,
Caesar's
hey,
last
take the
one.
Shay Long.
Going to bathrooms.
Hey, I'm
Oh,
gonna
Elon.
One showers, little bit showers.
Alright, push in.
Purify one shot.
Nice. No,
No way.
Nice,
Bro,
good
one
shot.
shot.
He's dead though. He's dead. Good job.
That's
Good
right.
job. Watch.
Oh, bro.
Watch your long.
All right, well, definitely some solid coming through there. 10 points in advantage for the side of Upper E, but NYSL, they've been able to make their way back onto the hill here. They've got themselves trailer. You can see they're setting up for that P4 wood rotation. And that was a big hold for them last time around. So certainly have got an opportunity to extend themselves once again. This has been a very, very close and intense matchup. Top frag right now in the lobby is Little B with 28, making his return from Mongolia. And Penky is right there as well with 27, tied up with Nero. So very, very close game in the kills. Very, very close game in the score. And I will say, I think we've got a little bit better distribution of time on the hill for the side of Upper E, and at a slight kill disadvantage, very, very slight. I think that is one of the things that they've done well on keeping up in the score. If you look at Mayhem, you've got Nero at 130.
yeah.
You've got Carlos at 64. You've got Space at 45. Rabalo at 15 and Little B at 8. So
I mean, they got to give some support to these OBJ players. Like, Nero is not your ordinary objective player. My guy literally puts a freaking mortgage on the objective every game. I just don't understand how a player like that doesn't get anybody in the support role to closer to that 100-second marker. Right now, P4 is compromised. The lead's going to be transferred back over. Can Mayhem handle the adversity? I'm thinking a quick listen in to see how the comms sound on this P1 reset for the second time this game. And this might be a make or break one for this, the NYSL Mayhem.
Yep. We got back inside. Yeah, there's one bottom of white ball. One bottom of, you might jump right.
Ram.
No, he's camo on me.
Bottom 10.
Two ramp.
Camo dead.
Smoke in your middle so you can break it. Smoke in your middle.
Dude.
He's on ramp.
Hey, top 10.
Top 10, one shot, he's hiding.
Bottom 10 dead.
Army.
Smoke
Top
on
10,
middle again.
one shot. Top 10. I'm dead. Top 10. Hey, no, trailer. Trailer. Push that.
Hey, we got-
American. Hey, dog, we gotta play this hill, dog. We gotta play this hill. Bottom wood.
Hey, we gotta contest this hill. There's one more. We gotta contest this here.
Barrel. Hey, barrel.
Hey, yo, new is really important here. Play new.
On our lower.
One side. New.
Hey, front, middle. Going barrels. Barrel on new. Get you a little bit.
Yeah, no.
Hey, long dead. One more long. I got it. Hey, watch very long. Split spawns. Watch barrels. I got the car. Needs to get it, trailer.
One of them.
Hey, two.
all right, well, definitely some good comms there. I think one of the big call-outs was, we need someone for that trickle on hill, but new is important, and we saw them make that rotation over. You could hear the praise on Little B came through with a big spree on his Annihilator. Looked like he went to peek for that extra one on the one more A long call. The Annihilator burned out, and then he just was in a rough position, so Carlos last on hill. A break comes through for the side of Upper Echelon. They can't close it out here, but they can get themselves dang close.
Yeah, they can now. It's bunkering up for a P3 rotation. NYSL Mayhem, they've cut their losses. They're already in the trailer side. They're stacking the point. There's 3 players in the hill. Rabalo looking to hold the 4 and the push off from the backside now as P2 comes to a close. 18 points needed here for the side of the Upper Echelon. But guess what? Trailer is certainly going to be sacrificed there. Pangy going to be able to win a massive gunfight. And the advantage right back in favor. Upper E, they're doing what they left off with on the P2 rotation. Space going to be the last hope. He wins one, but it's not going to be enough. Pepe there to get the revenge. And now it's a scramble. Mayhem, they don't have the numbers as of yet. It's all on Nero, 39 on board. He gets shut down. 12 seconds left. And now the NYSL Mayhem squad are going to have to bunker up for one solid rotation. It cannot have any kind of misfortunes. 3 seconds left. It is going to be the break where Ball is going to be able to stay alive, and they might be able to see a P4 rotation day.
Oh my goodness, this has been an absolutely nutty hill. This has been an absolutely nutty game. They still have to hang on. They cannot give up any trickle here. They've got 3 bodies in old. They've got 2 in new. Nero has been putting out numbers. Raballo, Little B, 42, 44, 45 for these guys. Oh.
Pepe from the outskirts trailer is compromised. Setting up and focusing for new instead of closing it out on the P3. It was a kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But a hell of a fight back from Mayhem. They just couldn't hold off the push and trailer, and that's where we see game number 1 come to an ending.
Well, that's going to be one for Upper Echelon, who desperately needed some points here. So they've got at least 5 locked in, minimum. They could still leave with 15. They could still leave with 20. Pengi came through 42 kills on board to tie Nero. The rest of the team did not have numbers to touch Mayhem, right? You've got, let's see, +2, +6. So you've got 8, neutral, 14, so 22... 6 28 kills in favor of Mayhem. That's
kills don't win games.
They don't, but you would think with that big of a kill advantage you'd have a little bit more control on the spawns, on the map rotations. I expected Mayhem to win that one flat out.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, that's not the case. P2 break comes through, P3 break comes through just like, and you had to be flawless through the end of P3, and they weren't. The matter of fact is, Pengi won a big gunfight on the outskirts of trailer coming in. Pepe gets the shot through the trailer door. Pengi takes advantage. It's simple as that. Plain as day. And right now we're moving on to a game 2 where, again, Mayhem are still in a pretty good spot. They're not necessarily out of contention for a top 6 seed, but they're definitely playing with fire, not able to, pick up at least 5 points off of the series.
All right, well, that is going to get us ready for our next match in this series, which is going to be a Search and Destroy verdict, and we're going to be moving on over to Raid. It's a map that both these teams are more than familiar with, and certainly would be in a good position to come through with the win here, right? Obviously, Upper Echelon, they are more desperately in need of the win here based on their points. Just to have even a hope. I mean, it's still a gamble from there, right? Because everybody else has an opportunity to get points next or on Thursday as well. So Upper Echelon, even with a win here, does not guarantee that they have an opportunity to come through and get a spot. Mayhem as well. They've got to come through and face Xplicit, another team that has performed really, really well this season. So, again, I will give the credit to Mayhem that they have not been playing with one of their starters for the past couple weeks. And they have some great talent, but certainly need to tighten up the rotations a little bit there, and we could certainly still see success out of this team. But we're gearing up for our hard point on, or Search and Destroy on Raid here, verdict.
Yeah, this is it. This is for all the marbles here. This is a 2-0 in favor of Upper Echelon, or this is the 1-1 and we go to a game 3. Potentially our last game of the night. It depends on how well this NYSL team play. Right now, we're going to see a 4-stack through the middle of the map. Pengi looking to hold the push through the full stairs. Pepe's going to get some shots. The team galore. A Little B there to shut the push down. The bomb goes down. Oh, my! Little B raining it down. Schnap's taken down. Pepe gets the revenge, but the bomb is yet to be picked up. Finally, it is. And that's going to be Pepe looking for the B transition. There's nobody home. They might be able to get a free plant here, but time certainly not a factor. We'll see if they can get the plant down, and we'll see how the 3v3 retake comes through. Look at Veteran, though. He is literally on the full-on flank. Catches one off guard. That space. Courtside, man. Should have had your game shoes on, bro. We could have taken it to the half-court mark and maybe do a little bit of a dunk contest. But guess what? Veteran shuts down the push through the money room. Look for the heist. Is going to be able to do that one. Now it's all on Nero. He's got 1. Is he looking for 2? Veteran does a great job of falling back. I cannot blame him.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I switched to Rabalo's perspective as Veteran was climbing through the money room window, and I was like, oh, for sure, while mantling, Rabalo, was able to pick up this kill. He was just a little bit behind, and, Veteran came through the window ready to ball, okay? I mean, the reaction time was kind of unreal there, but picks up the kill, and that is going to be 1 round for Upper Echelon. Certainly hoping that Mayhem make the comeback here for Game 2 and, potentially give us that Game 3 action. I'm not going to take favorites on who I want to win here, but, I think for 2 teams that are fighting to, 1, get in to a top 6 spot, and B, to keep their top 6 spot, I want to see this one be a grueling fight to the end.
Oh, you got to earn it here, right? You just can't get freebies. You got to get these rounds in right now. First blood comes through. Carlinhos dropped Little B, dropped Snipes. Going to be able to get the revenge. The bomb's planted. Now it's a 3v5. A race towards the bomb. 35 seconds on the clock. 2 players through mid. That's going to be Rabalo. Trash canned. Pepe just doing him dirty, but Pepe is going to be dropped. Space is now left in a 1v4. If he clutches this is an ace. For the gods, for the glory, for the ace, for the round, he's going to get shut down. That's it. 2 rounds in a row. Rock solid affair so far for Upper E. And Mayhem, where are the strats at, homie? Where's the defense? What's going on?
All right, well, Mayhem got to turn things around big here. We know this is a team that can excel in search and destroy, right? And we just haven't seen that yet so far this matchup. That last round, the first round was close. That last round, Upper Echelon was frying. And it came down to Space in a last live opportunity.
It was literally a 3v1 at the end of the first round. Was it really that close?
It came down to a 2v1 that it was Nero last live, right? Almost was able to take Veteran off the heady. Yeah, I would say that was pretty close. Way closer than that round 2. That round 2 was Upper Echelon ran a train, bro.
It was a reach, right? Yeah. Running the trade. Who's the caboose right now? It is it's definitely Snipes. He's only got 1. Jesus only got 1 space. Good night. Good shots. Right through the front side. Little B's going to combine for the second there. Rabalo's drop. Pingy's on a little bit of a burner, but he's going to be outs right here. Cubby side affair.
Oh, Space.
Cubby is going to be able to prevail and was looking pretty promising on the retake. Fell right on their face.
I'm going to be honest. I thought Space was clipping right there, okay? He peeks the corner. He finds 1. It was so close. I mean, that would have been one of those clips on his page. You know what I mean? Obviously, we are sponsored by our platform of choice, Trovo here, guys. So big shout out to Trovo. Oh, Little B,
The smoke, homie, just nasty, disgusting. Well,
we actually have an advantage for Mayhem right now, so this is a great opportunity for them to get a point on the board and maybe start shifting some of that momentum to their favor verdict.
Well, we'll see how it pans out. 3 players left, but the bomb's surely going to be collected here for Veteran as soon as he makes sure no one's in laundry. He's got the right idea. Maybe be able to get this bomb plant down. Maybe they'll buckle up for a little bit of a cross-map trek. We'll see how it pans out now. There's still plenty of time to make something happen. 1:05 to be exact now, as you can start to see Jesus giving the call-outs. They're looking for the double back. They're looking for the redirect, the reposition. And the 2v3 will ensue now. 55 seconds left on the clock. 2 players in mid. It's exactly in kitchen. You can see 1 holding off the front side push. Carlinhos holding off the front side. The back side's covered by Nero. Space, he's the wild card. He's all the way out in pool bar. And he's surely going to get some info right here. What the? Is this another one of his spots? Good night. He was trying to go for the B-side push. I think I saw that shot in maybe Eastern servers, but Veteran doesn't do anything fancy, just gets the head glitch taken off. And now we've got a 2v2. What player advantage is no longer.
Well, Nero does pick up a big kill there. Jesus can save you. Does come through with the pistol whip. Takes down Nero. It's now 1 versus 1. And Banana Mac in hand. Carlos comes through, clutching the round up for the side of the Mayhem. They find themselves a point on the board. Again, maybe they can grab that momentum and start to push it forward. We know what this team is capable of, and, I really want to see that Game 3 come through here. So, domination still in the mix. it's not the control we'd like to see, but you know, this late in the season with teams that are fighting so close, you gotta have it, right? Oh, Carlos!
Carlinho gonna be able to get taken down. Space and Nero 5 for 2, but Nero's dropped. Snipes finally dropped, and now it's all on Jesus can save you. This is the biggest advantage that Mayhem have seen all day long. Certainly should be a little bit of a closer equalizer. A little be in mid position, waiting for the transition, kind of holding down the courtyard. P5 rotation. Rocks certainly offer a little bit of cover, but Jesus slowly creeps. Going to be out right there as Little B gets the shot. And we're going to flip sides 2-3. Still an advantage in favor of Upper Echelon, but not as much as it could have been.
Well, we did have another round go in favor of Mayhem. That's probably the most convincing performance they've had so far this Search and Destroy. You know, it was a 3-1 there at the end that they closed out. And, you know, and now switch sides, right? You now got an opportunity where Mayhem maybe have an opportunity. There's no way Little B doesn't hear 3 shots miss at him or 2 shots miss at him and gets picked off the heady there. Nice little jump shot out of Jesus in mid. And that's going to open up a gate for the side of Upper Echelon here early on. And, you know, right now, Veteran's fine, dude. Veteran's got 8 on board. Little B has 7, and he got picked off early. So that's not great for the side of Mayhem. Raballo is struggling here in the Search and Destroy. Sitting on 0-4 right now. Certainly has plenty of time yet to turn this around still. But this could be a rough round for Mayhem to try to make the comeback happen.
Yeah, Raballo sitting on that Duncan special right now. You know, the donut of the day right here can turn things around. 1 kill matters, you know, every kill matters in Search and Destroy, but 1 could make a huge difference. As we've seen First Blood come through, Little B, he's got plenty of them on board. He's got 7, but he's not a factor here.
Look at Pepe crawling up the stairs.
Pepe, whoa, what are you doing, homie? Look at this. He's kind of just holding the fort down, right?
He was holding the back quarter, and then he crawled, like, all the way through mid. Like, P5 hardpoint, crawled all the way through. Gets taken down, but did have Jesus take down 1 of his own, keeping the 1-person advantage in favor of Upper E. We've got less than 30 seconds to go, and we still need to get a bomb plant out of the side of the NYSL Mayhem. Veteran able to come through with 1 onto Carlos. Raballo rotates over a little bit late. Nero does find 2. Looking for 3, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Oh!
It's the second one he's almost clutched, right? Well, almost and close. They're kind of the same, right? Kind of the same. They don't count unless you actually come through, but a valiant effort from Nero doesn't go unnoticed. He's got 6 on board. Damn near clutches the 1v3. Almost put what would have been just one of the nastiest 1v3 clutches on the ringside I have ever seen down to rest, but it is not the case. Jesus doing what he does best, opening up. Give a shot from the top, the heavens. No, it's the top side of the ring. He's right there. Looking for more. It's Carlinhos who's going to safely travel through, but oh my. Oh, what in the heck was that, Carlinhos? Gets revenge, but
Little B, you have to get Pengy here, bro. Okay, thank God. There's no way we're letting people crawl all the way across mid again, but well, Little B gets taken down by Veteran, who's on 12, bro. Space.
On a birder. No dice. No pinche way. No milk mommies. No way you guys are letting Veteran run all over you.
Yeah, you're not letting that washed guy run over you.
Damn. Veteran just doing him nasty, homie.
Yeah, that was a rough round, as close as that one came down to be after the almost narrow clutch. I mean, that was absolutely fire plays from the side of Mayhem. But unfortunately for them, Upper Echelon just came through and found that 1 extra gunfight in those rounds to make the difference. And, you know, again, Veteran, I mean, he's frying like we've never seen him fry before, right? I mean, we've seen him have good games, but do you think we've seen him have this good of games against this level of competition?
I don't think I have. I think Veteran has been one of those wild card players that, you know, has known to, you know, stand out in times of need. Right now, Upper Echelon, they need a player they can rely on. He is still going to be live here, but guess what? Oh my God, Veteran shutting it down. The poolside finds 2, but Raballo, he's now not only got 1, but he's got 2, but he is shut down. Now it's all on Snipes. Can they close it out 6-2? Or are you going to allow this NYSL Mayhem team to have a little bit more hope? I know you're a firm believer, Day. They can find 3. They can find 3 more. Well, they're barking on this round for themselves to get that 3rd point. It's all on Carlinhos and Space to close it out. Certainly get the bomb plant down. Now it's just a matter of time. The push has got to come. And it's 40 seconds left on the clock. Does Snipes have what it takes? The clutch factor. Does he have it? Or does he not?
Looks like he's pushing on up. Gonna find one. Carlos, Banana Mac in hand, has an opportunity to clutch up here. Snipes pick himself up a kilo, but close range. Banana Mac gonna kill you before anything else can happen. And you're right there. You found 3. You can find 3 more Mayhem. It's gonna be difficult, but you certainly can make this happen. We've got Ravala put up some kills on the board now. That's definitely huge. But the biggest thing right now for the side of Mayhem, if you look at the scoreboard verdict, if you shut down Veteran, I think Mayhem has more than enough potential to make the comeback happen, right? Veteran is 15 kills deep, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's no stopping the man. Obviously, he got 2 and he's done his damage. Last round was a toss-up of who could win the 1v1s, and certainly it was a great spot for Carlinhos to extend the game, and now the hope is still alive. The dream for the reverse coming through. Or is it going to be the nightmare of the 2-0 that upper echelon could preside now? As 15 kills on board for Veteran. Good night, bro. All's fair in love and war. War is certainly one of those players that we can always count on right here in this matchup alone to be dynamic. Right here, Snipes going to find first blood. And now it's 60 seconds dwindled. There's nothing to show Mayhem. They got to make a move.
Definitely a good first pick for Snipes there. He's got 5 on board. Is he just straight opted for the kilo, or was it an actual snipe he picked up? I missed it, so I don't know. But Space able to find 1 onto Jesus, so at least brings things a little bit back. Nero gets some information. Carlos coming for the help. Well, they don't find any return shots, though. Oh, Space. Oh, no, Space. There's no way. Oh, there's no way Pepe didn't see him either, right? There's no way. Is Pepe AFK? Pepe's AFK. No shot, bro. No shot, bro.
Veteran doing what he does best now. He's made it the 1v2. Pepe might have been AFK, but the dream is certainly still alive here for the side of upper echelon. The closers went out in a 6-3 fashion. The bombs planted. 30 seconds on the clock now, slowing down the push. Here comes the anticipated. Oh, Raballo gets laced. Nero gets dropped. They never stood a chance. Oh my God. Courtside. 19 kills. Front row tickets. Veteran clutches it up. How in the hell does Veteran put all 3 of those players just completely to rest? Tucked them in, read them a good night story. They're off the bed now. What the hell?
Listen, if Veteran ever needed a highlight reel, this game was it for him. I wish I would have caught more of it from his perspective. I'm going to be honest. We caught that last round. We caught all of it from his perspective, right? The clutch coming from him, all of it. Plenty of other rounds. We caught the carnage from all of the receiving ends. So definitely a great game for upper echelon here as they come through with the 2-0 victory over the NYSL Mayhem. They're going to pick themselves up 20 points, which is well needed for them in the standings. And, looking at those standings, man, Thursday is going to be a important day, guys. You do not want to miss Thursday. We've got Xplicit in 5th place with 75. You've got Mayhem in upper echelon tied for 6th with 70. And then you've got Eleventy only 5 points behind with 65. Thursday is going to be some banger matches, and we've got a couple teams that are going to be fighting to hang on to that spot. Let me actually go ahead and pull up what next week's matches look like. So we've got Tribe versus the Goobers. That one doesn't really matter. We got upper echelon.
Does it matter?
Tribe
what are you talking about? That is the biggest implications of all. Why? Because Zygnus fighting for a number 2 spot.
But I was specifically
are securing a game or a 2nd place. That's massive, bro.
I was specifically pointing out the teams fighting for. You're right though. You're right though. We talked earlier about how important that number 2 spot is, and you're right. It's important on that front. But I meant for impacting who's going to make it. Upper echelon, they perhaps have the easiest matchup, I would say, for Thursday. Right? They've got Wicked Esports. Mayhem have to face off against Xplicit, which if they win there, they could lock themselves in a spot. And Eleventy, they've got to face off against DST, and that is not a pushover team.
No, it's not. I think Eleventy have a lot to lose. I think not getting a single point today was possibly the nail in the coffin, because now you got to be flawless against DST, and then you got to pray that both Xplicit fall 2-0 and that upper echelon don't just absolutely ravage their opponents. You mentioned, who are they playing again?
Upper echelon is playing against Wicked.
Oh man, this is 11's out, bro. That's it. I think that's it.
It would seem so. I think there's a reality that they could, depending on just how the day goes. But I certainly would say it's hard to believe Eleventy come through in 2-0 DST. So we'll see. We'll see when it comes to Thursday. I think you'll be casting it with us. Again, I'm not sure. I'm sure one of those matches will probably happen recorded off stream, guys. I don't in reality think that we're going to cast all five.
I think the only one that we would actually not want to see is probably the Vandals and Zygnus matchup.
Damn.
I mean,
True,
let's be real. I mean,
true, but
can we just be real with ourselves right there? That matchup does matter, but does it matter as much as the Goobers and Tribe? Does it matter as much as Upper Echelon's fate now, as they got a pretty solid spot to contest for a top 6 seed? Xplicit are holding on by a thread needle, and they might be down a man on Thursday. Maybe we won't see the Xplicit and Mayhem matchup. I don't know.
Oh, they are going to be down cartels, aren't they?
Depends on the rules.
That is an admin call. That is an admin call.
That is an admin call. That is not an our call.
Yeah, it certainly would seem to lean that way, at least from past experience where we've seen that happen. But that is going to be it for us tonight, guys. Thank you so much to the admin team who comes through and does all their hard work behind the scenes that you guys don't necessarily get to match the hard work to the face. Thank you so much, Verdict, for coming by casting. I know you had a long weekend and you had a long day today, especially having to cast the last match by yourself. But we appreciate you coming in clutch on behalf of Bobby, who is, I believe, currently sick with COVID. So.
Keep Bobby in your thoughts and prayers, chat. That's it's nothing to be joking around. I know we're past the COVID stages, but anytime you're dealing with it in personal level, you got to make sure you take care of yourself. And obviously, we're going to keep him in our thoughts and hope that he gets better soon.
Absolutely. And then we do have 2 more shout outs for you guys. One is going to go to the teams that come through and show up and play on a daily basis. Of course, obviously the raids that came through from Tatio, Zai, Envoy. We had multiples come in from a bunch of other teams as well. We had Eleventy come through with some raids. And let me just double check here. Yeah, no tribe today, so we didn't have any vague raid. I miss a space raid. I feel like I missed a space raid. Anyway, Space, if you did raid, I do appreciate it. I know you were streaming earlier. But yeah, that's going to be all from us today, guys. Thank you all for showing up. You guys and your participation is what keeps us able to do this. We got a quick word from COD Mobile on the way out, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Thank you.